You voting for Biden?
Yeah,
Okay, what's your reason?
because he's a better candidate comparative to Trump, right? And given the reasons that I just mentioned, right, along with the fact that ideologically speaking, I'm more inclined to believe in the same types of things with Biden comparative to Trump. Not to say that he has everything that I would believe ideologically, but it's more likely to be the case. So as it relates to federal judges, right, the federal judges would be less likely to limit legislation that I would like to support. Or not, or like limit as it relates to the Constitution and stuff like that. So, do you want me to give other reasons?
Yeah.
Yeah, CHIPS Act, the Inflation Reduction Act. He capped insulin at $35. Appreciate the Panther Paws. Thank you so much. The infrastructure bill, right? The American Rescue Plan, Build Back Better. Right, there are plenty of things I can point to specifically with Joe Biden that would be significantly better. Right, the context of student loans. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, but I mean, there's people that agree with what I'm saying is that it's still, like I said, mental decline is definitely one key problem for me. Both of them are like I said, pretty messed up candidates. To be honest, I wouldn't choose neither or. To be real with you,
You wouldn't want to do either or. Again, at the end of the day, it's one or the other. Do you understand how that process works in our two-party system?
yeah,
So given that you know it's going to be one or the other, why would you not prefer either? Do you think that they're equivalent?
they're both they both suck,
Okay, so how is yeah, you can say both suck, but that doesn't mean that they're the same badness, right?
huh?
That doesn't mean that they're the same badness just because they both suck, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
And that's
then
why
they're
I said
still if they're not the same
I'm more
badness,
leaning
then there's one that's
towards Trump
preferable to the other one.
than towards
I know.
Biden.
You keep saying that. So you're saying you lean towards a proven sexual abuser, a proven fraudster, somebody who's been lying about the election for the past few years, right? In which we have sufficient evidence to indicate otherwise. 17 particularly court judges that were appointed by Trump specifically, it did not indicate sufficient evidence to overturn the election. Appreciate the elephant. Thank you so much. So it's either that they're treasonous judges appointed by this guy, right? Or he lost the election. Now, which one do you think it is?
I still stand by like Trump might be the better choice.
Did you hear anything I just said?
Nah, you kind of cut off through some of them
I cut off at what point?
when you were the middle part.
The middle part. Okay. So Trump appointed 17 federal judges that looked over cases specifically related to the election that did not indicate sufficient evidence to overturn the election. Okay. So either he appointed corrupt judges himself or he lost the election because they ruled correctly. Which one is it?
Do you, but do you have like fact to back that up?
Yes. The court documents. You can literally see the judges who were like ruling the case. And you can then see that they were appointed by Trump.
Well, yeah, I'm ignorant on that part. I'm just talking about his overall, like what he seemed to be. To be honest, 'cause I don't know him from candidate, and I don't know his background. Like I said, like to me, both of them suck. But Trump seems to me like someone that's more forthcoming. That's my only argument I can make to you.
So you're not going to respond to anything I've said. You're just going to divert back to the original point that you already assumed prior to having this conversation.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep on. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your response to what I said? Which one are you going to accept?
The Trump one?
Yeah. With is he lying about the election, right? Or and he lost, or like did he hire corrupt judges?
He could have done either or. I don't know.
You don't know. So you don't know who won the 2020 election?
I know who won that. I'm just saying I'm not sure if he
Who won the
hired
2020
corrupt
election?
people or not.
Let me just ask a question. Who won the 2020 election? Oh, they're cutting out everyone. Hello? Are you there? Hello? Tap that screen, everyone. Let's run it up to 150,000 likes. Share the live, everyone. Copy link, send it to your friends. I don't know what's going on here. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, let's get a W Charles, a W Drew, and a W Vicky in the chat, everyone. Y'all actually are going crazy today. I don't know what's going on right now, but I appreciate everyone. So which one is it? Oh, are they trying to leave now? Should we just go on to the next person, everyone? Should we just go into the next person, chat? Yeah, all right. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, everyone. We are just looking for some debates, everyone. Let's try to get the next person up here. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Okay, all right, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024. Somehow multi-guest user does not exist. I'm confused about that one, but let's go to the next individual. Tap that screen, everyone. Let's run it to 100,000 likes, 150,000 likes real quick, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
What's up?
How old are you?
Hello.
How old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah,
What does that have to do with anything? I'm 22.
I have to make. Yeah, are you gonna vote for Trump?
Hell yeah.
Why so?
Because let's talk about them gas prices.
Yeah, well, how did Biden cause global gas inflation?
When he became president, it came up to $4 fucking. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so how did he do it in Europe too? Because it happened in Europe, so how did that happen there too? Appreciate it, thank you. Yeah, how did it happen in Europe too then? Did Biden cause that?
Probably. Shit, maybe he is.
Shit, yeah, maybe he did. Crazy, right?
Yeah, that is crazy.
He's causing the global gas prices. That's crazy, right? So actually, right, gas prices are more or less related to one, OPEC limiting the distribution of oil worldwide, which lower supply given the same demand increases prices. And then the same thing would be true with Russian oil. We're not getting Russian oil to the same degree anymore because of the Russia-Ukraine situation, which would have happened regardless of Trump or Biden being president. So what makes you think specifically that Biden contributed to the gas prices that exist today, given that the evidence indicates that it's not the case?
Can you tell me what makes Biden a good president?
CHIPS Act, the Inflation Reduction Act. You can talk about the insulin being capped at $35.
He literally
the American
says
Rescue Plan,
random
the Build
shit
Back Better,
like,
the student loan debt.
The population cheese. I mean, he literally says random stuff like he makes no sense. Have you actually watched?
Kind of like what you're doing right now. That just seems to be projection to me right now. I guarantee the first thing that we look at on YouTube right now, the first clip we see of Biden, he's going to be speaking more coherently than you just did in that last sentence.
Dementia. He literally.
Can you
says
tell me what are the
random
qualifications necessary to identify that an individual has dementia?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you just said.
Can you give me the qualifications necessary to determine that an individual has dementia? You can't, right? So are you qualified to make the determination that he has dementia? No, right? So let's look at the medical health professionals in which do not indicate this to be the case. Wait, so how do you determine that he has dementia?
Who literally says, like cheese in a fucking.
That's you right now. Honestly, Biden speaks more coherently, right, and faster than you are right now. I'm not joking.
No.
No, I'm not joking. He's a better public speaker than you are. Absolutely. Appreciate the confetti. Thank you so much. If you agree with that, type a 1 in the comment section. Is Joe Biden... Oh, they just left. Joe Biden is a better public speaker than the individual we just had on the live. Can we get a 1 in the chat if you agree with that? Holy shit. All right, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, everyone. That's wild. Yo, Blenda, thank you for the hint. All right, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That was wild. Let's get the next person up here. Please only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, everyone. All right. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Old enough. I'm over 18.
For sure. Will you vote for Trump in 2024?
Hell yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump.
And why is that?
Because if you don't vote for Trump, who else are you going to vote for? Biden?
Yeah. Why?
Did you watch the
vote for
Tucker
Trump?
Carlson interview with Putin?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you get nothing from that the elections don't matter? It does not matter who you vote for?
So you just like ate up that Russian propaganda?
It's not Russian
right, that's
propaganda.
all you did.
It's a proven
Yeah,
fact.
yeah, it absolutely is. Tucker was literally making claims that like Russia was like a better place to live, was like looked nicer by looking at one particular railway, right, in Moscow, right? If you compare, right, the standards of Russia to the United States, it's not even comparable.
Do you not know anything about the Dominion voting machines, that they literally use them in other countries to rig their elections and keep the officials in office?
Yeah, please indicate to me how they were used in this
They
particular
were
election
literally
to do
used
so.
in the United
Please show me
States.
any evidence.
They're all over. That's the voting.
Was this
machines are
evidence
used.
submitted in the courts?
It was literally voting machines used in Atlanta, Georgia. It was a literal voting machine.
And the audits that came up with Georgia, did they indicate sufficient evidence to overturn the election?
Yes. And
No, they didn't. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Nevada too.
No, they didn't. The audits in all those countries did not indicate sufficient evidence to overturn the election.
They
You just
absolutely
lied.
did.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
By
What
by
are you
what
talking
court?
about, bro?
By what court?
No, you're talking about like the.
Give me the source. Give me the source. Where
For
was
the audits, for the audits, I'll show you the audits as it relates to Georgia and as it relates to Nevada right now. Audits of 2020 election, Georgia and Georgia. We'll pull it up Georgia first. Yeah, the audit confirmed. This is from sos.ga.gov. The audit confirmed that the original machine count accurately portrayed the winner of the election. The differential
By
of
what?
the audit
No one
results
voted?
from the original machine counted results was well within the expected margin of human error that occurs when hand counting ballots.
When have we ever had an election in the history of the United States where they've boarded up election?
Wait.
ballot
Are you
passes?
just? Come on. Are you gonna walk right past that?
No, but I mean, the Dominion voting machines were used in Nevada. They were used in Arizona. They were used in
Okay,
California.
show me any evidence that these ended. Show me any evidence that these audits ended in showing sufficient evidence of
They
fraud,
literally
voter fraud.
changed the voting laws in Michigan.
Show me. No. Show me how any of these particular audits indicated, right, that there was election fraud sufficient to overturn the election. Please show me any of them.
Literally. First off, I'd have to hop off the live to go get the source. Second off,
You could just swipe off, go to it, find it, come back, and I'll be able to hear you again. Okay, we'll give him a second, everyone. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can find. Tap that screen, everyone, to run it to 250,000 likes. Share the live copy link. Send it to a few friends. Let's see what this guy comes back with as it relates to voter fraud in election year 2020. Can't wait to see this, everyone. Can't wait to see this. Get your popcorn, everyone. Get your sour. Okay, I don't have any more sour punch straws anymore. I'm fucked, chat. I'm fucked. Most of your followers are bots. So fucking real, dude. I'm paid by the DNC. Most of my followers are bots. Honestly, y'all are really getting that shit correct, dude. W's in the chat for them, for real. I appreciate the corgi. Thank you so much, Bills Mafia. I appreciate it. Thank you. Woo! Let's go, chat. Let's go. All right, keep tapping that screen. We just hit 100,000 likes. I appreciate everyone as well. Follow me if you haven't already. Everyone, turn on notifications. Sometimes they send out, sometimes they don't, right? Even though I'm paid by the DNC, sometimes my notifications don't send out. Appreciate the corgi. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Makes total sense. I'm a real follower. If you're a real follower, type a 1 in the chat, please. Can we get a 1 in the chat for all the real followers? Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. W for all the bots in the chat, for real. Yeah, I appreciate the corky. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Look at. Oh yeah, people are spamming twos now. Y'all are funny. I'm fake. So real, dude. So real. Okay, give it a second, everyone. Let's see what he finds. Let's see if he finds evidence of voter fraud, chat. Bro isn't coming back. We'll see. We'll see. What is a bot? If you don't know what a bot is, you know. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. The Goob bots, for real. I should start naming my subs that. The bots. Yo, Daily, thank you so much for the galaxy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Daily. I appreciate it. Yo, Bills Mafia with the galaxy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Yo, W's in the chat for both of them. W's in the chat. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
all right.
Did you find it? Did you find it?
No, I didn't. So I'll give you that point that the audits came. I'll give you that. But I'm just saying Dominion voting machines have been proven in other states or
Other
not
countries?
Countries that they are proven to rig elections. That is a proven fact.
Yeah, and democracies in other countries have led to tyranny. Does that mean that the specific one in the United States has? No, right? So just because certain things have operated a different way in other countries doesn't necessarily entail that it's going to happen in this particular setup.
Okay, so on your particular other countries aspect, we can agree that China is a communist country, can we not?
They have communists, right? People who are
Communist-
self-proclaimed communists in their governmental systems. Appreciate the Knight's helmet. Thank you so much. But their economy is nowhere near communist,
So,
right?
do you understand what the real problem of the border is? Is not just the Mexicans coming over the border. That is not the issue whatsoever. The bigger issue is what's going on in the Darien Gap. And if you ever listen,
What's going on in the what?
Darien Gap, I'm guaranteed. You probably
By the way, can you stop touching your mic so much, man? It's hard to hear what you're saying.
the Darien Gap. Are you familiar with it?
No, what is that?
I mean, you should probably know what it is and why the illegal immigration coming into the country is a massive problem. So the Darien Gap is part of the Pan America Highway. Now, I don't know if you know this, but you do not need a visa to enter Ecuador. So all of these people from around the Middle East, from South Africa, from communist China, from anywhere, can literally go to Ecuador without a visa and then take the Pan America Highway through the Darien Gap and then enter right at where? Mexico's border. So not only are you letting just people from, down in Mexico and Latin America, it's, all those countries come in. You're literally, this is coming from a biologist, not a politician. You can literally look it up if you need to look it up. The Darien Gap, Weinstein is the biologist.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with this. Would you like me to bring up someone right now who is familiar with this?
You can, but it's a proven fact. So
Heath, I appreciate the $5 on Cash App. Thank you so much.
So biologist Weinstein.
No, just a real
Weinstein,
question. Actually, I'm not gonna ask. Oh, I just accidentally invited someone. Amber, I accidentally did that. That was an accident.
So Weinstein is the biologist. He went down to the Darien Gap too.
Hold on. Let's let Matt respond real quick. I want to hear what Matt has to say as it relates to this.
Yeah, I mean, he's correct that the Darien Gap is an issue, right? But the problem is,
Why is it an issue though?
What do we do about the gap, right? Because the gap has no highway system in it. It's all jungle. It's ruled by cartels. It's
China.
It's essentially a no man's land. So I want to know what you expect these small Latin
I expect proper immigration.
Hey,
laws.
can you be quiet, please?
No, I'm just asking. The Darien Gap is an issue because most of the migrants coming from Venezuela, coming from South America, have to cross over the gap. And so what I'm asking you is, what should the United States do, or what should these small Latin American countries do to contain this jungle-infested, cartel-driven large area of the isthmus of that area? What should we do?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, because you brought it up, and so
So we need proper border regulations to not let people from all over the world come in undocumented. It's simple as that.
To the Darien Gap. So you're saying
Biden is trying to
so
fast track.
Your solution is for an area of the world that has little to
No, not the Darien Gap. Our borders.
Well, then why bring up the Darien Gap?
Because
You
they're
brought up
coming.
Darien
Because
Gap
the
for a
point.
reason, right?
Because the point is, this is not just about. Oh, this is not just about down south and people coming in from Texas. It's about the people that are undocumented, that are known terrorists, that have an entry port through Ecuador with they don't have to have a visa to come through Ecuador. So now you're allowing everyone from countries that hate us, like the Middle East.
Give me any reason to believe that there's a high probability of terrorism.
There is. If you go and you listen,
give me any source.
So what I'm hearing is that the United States should pump money into the government of Ecuador so that they can contain their border.
How many gotaways have got through our border under Biden compared to Trump?
Terrorist gotaways?
Terrorists.
Yeah, like on the
that we know of.
Well, that number cannot be calculated because so many migrants are actually coming over the border.
Exactly. And you don't think that's a problem?
No, no one here, Parker and I, no one here has said that that's not an issue, right? We do not disagree. We disagree that Trump's policies would lead to a reduction in migrants coming over in safety
It was
to
already
these
proven.
people. No, it wasn't. Do you remember
the number of
Great
gotaways compared to
2018
when Trump.
caravan? Do you remember the Great 2018 caravan? Trump warned us, oh, these migrants, these hundreds of thousands of migrants are going to be coming over the border. Please
And
vote
how
for
many
me.
got in?
What do you mean? Well, no, they didn't
How
get
many?
in.
How many got
No,
in?
they didn't get in because he over exaggerated the number. He was lying about how big it was.
Okay, but how many got in? If you compare the stats of when Trump was the president versus Biden now, and
Yes,
the illegal
the
That's a
immigration,
correlation causation.
Yes, it is. But yes, you are correct that the stats are larger under Biden.
So-
than they are
so
but
who
that's
here-
also because of the COVID pandemic.
do you know
People
why?
are
Do you know why
fleeing.
they're coming?
Hey, bring. Please let him respond.
People are fleeing these countries because these countries are low status.
Economic crisis, correct?
Yes, and
So you think them coming here, essentially fleeing economic crisis with no means to jobs or anything here, and no housing, no sanctuary is good for our economy? You're seriously
because
thinking that's
it is
a good
one
idea?
of our ideal principles. I mean, you want to tear
Our
down
economy
the
can't
no,
handle
no.
it.
I'm asking you. Do you want to tear down the Statue of Liberty?
No. Why should we?
Because on it is emboldened one of our core principles. Give us your
For
poor,
legal
give us your
immigration.
weak. Give it. So, do you want us to just like say no, don't come in? Most of the immigrants who come into this country are in fact poor. Are in fact
They're
hungry,
also
aren't-
legally documented.
That's not true. During the great migrations of the Irish and the Chinese, most of those people were not brought in legally. They just came in, so many of them, and that led to prejudice, that led to hate, and it led to all the other things, and the documented
They
discrimination.
also collected their citizenship and went through the process. Nobody on right or left has an issue if they go through the
How
process
long
of
does it
becoming a
take
citizen.
for a migrant to
5 to 7 years on average.
That's fine, but they're still getting their
What do you
citizenship.
mean that's fine? During that time period that you're relating to in the early 1900s, how long did it take?
Regardless of how long it took, they were
the
registered
question.
and documented.
Answer the damn question.
You just said 5 to 7 years.
No, that's now. Wow. What at that time period in the early 1900s? Answer the question.
I'm not a historian. I don't know what the process was.
Yeah, and by the way, that's not even including the official acts of Congress that tried to impede Chinese, Irish, people from Germany, from trying to get into the country. There were acts of Congress that specifically barred these people from coming in because
our economy could not handle the mass flow
No,
of
that's not
people
true.
coming
Look at
in.
the text of the bill. No, look at the text of the bill. They claimed the same thing that Trump claimed, by the way. They claimed that it would taint the blood of the United States.
So who's paying for it then?
Chinese coming in would end
Who's
up,
paying for it?
polluting. What?
Who's paying for it then? We got 10 million illegal immigrants coming into the country, and you just think that
The same people
that money
who are
that money's going
paying
to come out of
for
thin
the-
air? You're
for the
literally screwing the
impoverished- no, it's
future
the same people
generations.
It's the same people who are paying for the impoverished citizens of this country. There are more white
Citizens.
people in this
You just said
country
the word
who are
citizens.
No, but there are more people in this country who are white, working age people in this country who are on welfare, who get food stamps, who get Medicaid, and who, by the way, pay little in taxes.
And again, they're U.S. citizens. We can take care of our own. Why are we forced to take care of all the illegals from a crashed
Because once you
economy
enter the
and
country,
then do the
because
same thing
it's
here?
about no. Because now we're getting into like theory. What kind of country do you want us to be? Do you want a mother and child who comes in illegally? What would you have us do as a government that is based on principles of humanity and of peace and of love and all these things? Would you rather that these people starve?
Go through the process.
No. What do you do about their no? Yes, that's fine. What do you do about their situation right now? Because right now that they have no food, they have no medical care, they have no housing. What would you have them do? Would you rather that the United States government do nothing and allow the children and the women and the men to starve?
So it's better for them to come here and collapse our economy, because that's exactly what's going to happen,
where
because
is the
we can't
economy
sustain
collapsing?
it.
Where is it collapsing? Where's
It's
the
not
economy
yet,
collapsing?
but we cannot
Not yet.
we
Oh, yeah,
cannot
but people have been
sustain
saying
the
that
amount
since
of immigration
1820.
that's coming in right
No,
now.
no.
We can't.
But the problem is, bring. This is the same argument that has been used since the 1820s about every other ethnic group that has been trying to get into this country. The same people made the same argument for the Irish. They made the same argument for the Chinese because those Chinese people are going to take our railroad jobs and not give it to
They're going to take all your
white
rights
Americans.
too.
Hey, Bring, can you just let him finish a sentence?
Yeah, sure.
Like, do I have to keep telling you this? You're acting like a child.
Well,
Please
I mean,
stop.
I get to finish like a half my sentence before I'm interrupted,
Bring,
but sure.
go ahead and say what you want to say. It's fine. Go ahead.
So I'll let you talk, but listen, we as an economy cannot handle 10 million people coming across the country, and that's just what we know about. Our economy can't handle undocumented possible terrorists coming in, because what's actually happening is they're saying that they're sleeper cells moving in. No, they're not sleeper cells. They're active moving cells that are coming in, and they could be part of the Chinese Communist Party. They're coming from the Darien Gap. They're coming in undocumented. They're coming in, crime is going up. There's a ridiculous amount of fentanyl coming across, killing our kids. So what's it going to take? A young under 10-year-old child dying on a Democratic's, agenda to essentially get these people to wake up from mass amounts of drugs that have come over, like through cartels, through people that are coming here, setting up shop, sleeper cells within our country that are completely undocumented. On top of that, you got 10 million people coming in with no jobs, no housing. What are we just going to build housing and use our resources out of thin air and then pay for all their bills on top of the homeless that we can't take care of as it is, on top of all the homeless veterans that are sitting on the fucking curb right now, not getting any government assistance? Like, on top of that, do you want to talk about, where are these jobs coming from? Out of thin air? Because I'm sorry, we don't have 100,000 fucking, farms for these people to work on. So what, are we just going to start taking jobs away from Americans that want to work? Like that,
So you're
that's
coming
that's
from
my
a
point.
fundamental misunderstanding of the economy.
It's not.
When people immigrate here, right, not only does that provide, right, demand and creates more jobs, but it also provides supply as it relates to people engaging in jobs.
How many
They don't
of
take
the 10
away from,
million
let me
can
finish
work on
my
a farm?
point, please. They don't take away from the economy any more than you would as an individual. Okay, so for you to say that specifically this would be applicable to you, to like immigrants, but not you, is ridiculous. And then also for you to say this, right? You're saying possible terrorists coming across the border, right? There's possible terrorists coming across the border as it relates to people being able to fly here, right, to our country, right, and stay here. Okay, but you look at the proportionalities, right? Compare the proportionalities of a likely terrorist coming that's an American citizen versus it being the case, or a natural born citizen versus it being the case that someone is coming across the border right now. Give me the proportionalities. And when you can't give me the proportionalities, how do you then come to a determination?
How can you
that
document
specifically they are going to be a cause of all these problems that you're relating to in the United States? Because fundamentally, when we look at the numbers, right, undocumented migrants and documented migrants are
Do they have to pay
significantly less
taxes?
likely. They're significantly less likely to pay.
Do they have to pay
significantly?
taxes?
Let me finish. They're significantly less likely to commit violent crime. Multiple times less likely. Okay. Do they pay taxes? Yes.
How? If they're
Sales taxes.
undocumented, how are they paying taxes?
Sales taxes. Sales taxes are paid all the time. Well, he just got a violation. He's got taken down.
Thanks for having me on, Parker. And by the way,
Appreciate it, man.
to Drew, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. That's very kind of you. So thank you all, Parker, and
For sure.
bye-bye.
All right. I'll see you, man.
See ya.
All right, let's go to the next individual. Everyone, only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024. We are just looking for some debates, everyone. Tap that screen, everyone. Let's run it to 250,000 likes, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? 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 Okay. All right. We're in the next individual. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. If you want to support me, Venmo, Cash App in the bio, like always. I don't even know where my phone just went. Chat. I'm like, oh, there it is. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello?
Are you driving?
No. My wife is.
For sure. Will you vote for Trump in 2024?
Yeah, of course.
Why so?
The guy that was talking to you before, I mean, he told you the truth about everything, man. Like, you really think our economy and everything's doing great?
So there are certain things of our economy that's doing worse now and certain things that are doing better now. It depends what you look at. if we want to relate to inflation, all right, given that's definitely worse now comparative to when it was under Trump's administration, does that mean that it was caused by Biden? No, right? What's causing global inflation specifically isn't Biden, right? It's going to be, right, the OPEC limiting their distribution of oil worldwide. Same thing with us not getting access to Russian oil due to the context of the Russia-Ukraine situation, which would have happened regardless of the scenario due to the Budapest Memorandum, right? So I have really no reason to believe that like these sets of circumstances would be different at all as it relates to inflation given a Trump administration.
Okay, everybody says that, like, Trump left Biden in a bad situation or whatever. So what does that count for whenever Obama left it in a bad situation?
Yeah, Obama did not leave Trump in a bad situation.
Well, what about the cages that everybody said that
Elisa, I appreciate
they
the
said
galaxy.
that,
Thank you so much, Elisa. I appreciate it.
see, I brought you good luck, bro. There you go.
Elisa,
but
thank
what
you for the
about-
galaxies. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. W Elisa in the chat.
Okay.
W Elisa in the chat.
Okay, so with Obama making them cages, right? Everybody got mad at Trump because they said, "Well, hey, he's holding them kids in them cages for a long time," but that was a previous,
It was the separation of families. And
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
Obama made those places, but Trump was the one that was that utilized them.
But you know how he utilized
And also,
them, right?
you know that I also critique by Obama, right?
Oh well, I go through and I see your pages and I try to get on or whatever, but I didn't know that. But the thing is with him is Trump, because my daughter's from Mexico, so I dealt with this personally. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. And Elisa, thank you so much for the galaxy again. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yo, can we get a W Elisa in the chat? I do apologize. Thank you so much, Elisa. Elisa, I appreciate it.
All right. So whenever Trump did that, whatever, I have a daughter in Mexico, right? And she was trying to get over here or whatnot, and they had her in one of them cages. And the thing is Trump, the reason why it took him so long to get the families back is because he took blood tests. He didn't give them to fucking random motherfuckers. He didn't do that. And there's too many immigrants coming with Biden. No matter what, what was it in December? 300,000 people coming over here, like, and they're not even from like Mexico, bro.
You just cut out. I can't hear you, man.
Hold on, because my 20% came up, whatever. But the thing with them, they're bringing all these people in here, all these people. Everybody's getting mad at Texas because we're trying to protect the border and stuff. But Biden's out of line for that shit, man. You know what I mean? And I did go look. You were talking about they say his words, and I looked at something, took that into consideration or whatnot. But with the
You
Trump
just cut out,
thing,
Rob.
the Trump thing, man. Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, with the Trump thing, man, like I didn't like him. I did 9 years in prison. I didn't like him. I thought he was like I didn't
Like,
Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Okay, let's get this next individual up, everyone. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, y'all. All right, let's get this next individual. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
22.
For sure. Will you vote for Trump in 2024?
Yep.
Why so?
Well, I mean, can you tell me what Biden has done so much that Trump hasn't?
Wait, were you on here before?
Yep.
Why did you leave before, or what happened?
I want to know, how do you feel
What
about
happened? Wait, what was the
furries?
reason?
I wanna
What was
know
the
about
reason?
furries. How do you agree with the furries?
Okay, she's trolling,
Yeah,
bro.
okay, exactly. You can't even answer.
The what, bro? What
The
are you talking about,
furries.
Savannah?
Yeah,
I don't even know what you're
Biden
talking
lets
about.
these, little kids go to school dressed up like flipping animals and have litter boxes in the bathrooms.
Okay, Savannah, you can just go think about the random things in your head, right? Alone. We're gonna go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024. Everyone, you are new here. We are just looking for some debates, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, hi. I'm 29.
For sure. Will you vote for Trump in 2024?
Yes, absolutely.
For sure. Why so?
One, I believe he's a leader that we need as the president. You know, the sitting president. And
Is there a way you can turn off the background noise, or will it be
yeah,
a place where
I'm
there's?
going up to my room right now. I was downstairs.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Just
Yeah,
give me
but
a
go for it.
second.
What was
I'm
the
sorry.
reason?
I was
He's-
waiting the whole time. So,
Yeah, you're good. Don't worry. So he's a leader that we need. In what capacities?
well, back in 20. Hold on. Sorry, I'm still walking. But back in 2016, he his policies at the time, and with how things were going with the world, and
Like, what specific policies specifically would you reference?
well, for the economy, you know, I mean, I can't remember them all because you know I got a life. You know,
Oh, you don't have to remember all of them. Can you name one for me?
I like the policy he made for felons, where you know, after you know you serve your sentence, and give me a second, I'm closing my door. After you know you served your sentence and did your time, and after the period of however long you're a felon, that you can have a chance to expunge that and you know get rid of that, and it gives like a lot of opportunity for people who've done wrong atone for their crimes and get a second chance to get back in society and do better than how they left it before, you know. I liked his strong policies against ICE.
So if someone has a Class A felony,
Okay.
or
Listening.
Class B felony, would you say that they should be able to get an expungement of that? And hasn't that already been a thing mostly?
Yeah, but he made it to where it's like a lot less like rigorous, you know, like a lot less like you know of fighting. I mean, yes, you have to make appeals and all that, and
How do you make it less rigorous?
I don't remember exactly because, like I said, it was a while ago. This is like 8 years ago, you know. But I mean, can you explain to me the Class B felony?
Yeah, that's like 25 years or more
Um,
for maximum prison term.
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, dude, 25 years is a long time. Like, that's like 2.5 decades of, you know, your life being forever labeled a felon. Like, in that time, you can have kids, you can be working, you could have a job and, you know, make your life better, you know, like, you know, or like if you're trying to do something or get somewhere, like me personally,
Is that all you know about Trump?
no, I know other stuff. I mean, like I like his, how he was trying to get NATO and European countries to pay more in the bill for our military defense and spending and for the defense of our allies and the nations throughout the world.
Sure. I mean, I don't mind that actually. I mean,
Yeah. think we can agree on that.
I mean, most of them have, right? I mean, they already have hit the 2%, but there's some of them that have not. Sure, that's like
Right.
if we're pledging 2%, sure.
Which I see.
But like,
Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm just agreeing.
yeah, I just don't see that a lot of these things to be wildly different as it relates to the other administrations, insofar as that we should vote for a proven sexual abuser, a proven fraudster, someone who's been lying about the election for the past few years, someone who incited insurrection, right? Like, I don't see a really good reason, you know?
I mean, we can all agree that is my mic acting up again or anything, because I'm outside on my balcony.
I just hear wind. That's it. It's not much.
I'm in California. It just got done raining and storming, and it's actually quite nice. I mean, all these presidents, they do the same thing. You know, like I voted for Obama too. You know, I believed in his slogan, "Change we can," because at the time I feel like we needed change in the economy, especially from the recession, which, you know, we're dooming to go to another recession too again because of our deficit and our debt getting higher and higher, and with the interest rates on everything.
I don't think that necessarily would be causing a recession. Like, I mean, you'd have to give pretty good reason to believe that that would cause recession. That just is like a lagging indicator that we have to spend, like, for our interest payments. That's really the biggest issue with
Well,
the debt.
I mean, if we keep going into debt, how are we going to invest back into America, like the
I mean,
infrastructure?
Trump put us $7 trillion more in debt.
I mean, and how much did Obama did? How much did Clinton did? Like, I'm just, I mean,
Clinton had us in a surplus. If you want to talk about like
that's
like
good.
Obama, I mean, we'd relate to particularly the situation with the 2007-2008 financial crisis,
right.
right? I mean, that was the subsequent response to that.
Which we did a bailout for
I mean, he had 8 years as well.
Yeah, he did. And I liked him for the first 4, and I mean, the next 4, I kind of just like lost, like, because sometimes with,
And one thing I was saying is that Obama, at the end of his administration, was lowering the deficit. He had it at like $380 billion a year. And then when Trump came in office, we increased the deficit, right?
Well,
to almost $1
yeah.
trillion pre-COVID. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
And that's
he
due to
was-
tax policy specifically, where 83% of the tax cuts went to people who are making over $500,000 a year.
yeah, and I mean, like, I believe everyone deserves to have their own wealth, and like they worked hard and earned that, but like, for instance, if you want to contribute to like the country or the economy, like if like me, I'm a Christian, not to go off topic, but like, believe in helping one another and being there, and like if someone doesn't have the help, then we do our best to do it. Not saying I can't front the whole bill, but I'll do every capacity to help. Like to as much as the other person's willing to go. To bear the weight of the shoulder of everything. And as far as Trump doing the spending, like, yeah, I mean, he spent more, but we were, he said he took a look at the military, the readiness and the state of it, and he said we were in pretty poor shape, so he said he wanted to.
We spend more than the next 10 nations combined, most of them being our allies. So how are we in a fucking poor state when we're literally the most funded military in the world by far? It's not even close. We could cut our military budget in half, and we're still by far the biggest military in the world as it relates to funding.
Yeah, we are the biggest military. We have a lot of bases, a lot of
Dude, it's not even close, right? Like, we spend like $800 billion a year, dude. I'm saying, I'm pretty sure China spends like 300.
We're literally all over the place, and as far as like equipment bases and manpower, we have a decent amount, but not compared to a lot of the other countries. But like, I mean, we have that readiness and capability because honestly, we are securing the world peace. In essence, like, we're preventing another outbreak of a major conflict like the last world wars, and I agree, like, doing that, but it's somewhat like it feels like a burden to America, because mainly to the people, I would say, because we're having to put the bill and put money back into the coffers and the pockets of it all, and I just want to have like more support from our allies. Like, I really, like, I wish a lot of nations, their people that especially the ones that come here, and I'm glad the ones that come here, like nothing wrong with that. I believe they should come, as long as, they share our ideals, and that's just
Here, can I ask you a
yeah,
question?
go ahead.
How do you feel about the 2020 election?
The 2020? I mean, I was shocked. I'm not saying it was a steal, you know, because when it comes to any of these elections, it works all the way from the local to, town, city, state, counties, and, the Fed. So, which you got the president, you got the,
No, I'm just asking, do you think that it was stolen?
no, I don't think it was stolen. I mean, I was disappointed.
So then Trump's been lying about it for the past few years.
I mean, he was, curious to why he wasn't elected. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that vote for him, but I think at the time, because in every occasion with every election, like a lot of people, like they say, oh, okay, he's in now. I don't have to worry about voting for him again. But then like when it really comes down to it, if you don't go vote, then you're not going to get in. So I think just a lot of the people like were disappointed, and a lot of the people that didn't like him or wanted him there, and with all the protests during his term as president, like they didn't like him. They protested against everything he stood for.
Why do people not like him? And again, this is not like a response to like what I'm saying here. How do you feel? Appreciate that hat mustache. Thank you so much.
Well,
How do you feel about the fact that he's been lying about the election? Like, do you think that this is going to be something that we can support? I appreciate that hat mustache. Thank you so much in the chilies. Given the fact that democracy is how we hold these politicians accountable in the very first place.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're a constitutional government. Like.
A constitutional republic is compatible with a representative democracy.
Well, the fact that we have two distinct parties of Democrat and Republicans, and it's literally the majorities of people within the country and states, and when we vote, it's that type of government. Like I mean, we do have independents and others like libertarians and other stuff, but like
we don't have third parties, so we should argue and try to push for a multi-party democracy where there's more than just two, but at the moment it's one or the other. So we're comparing Trump versus Biden. Clearly Trump seems to be a significantly worse candidate as it relates to the context that he's a proven sexual abuser, he's a proven fraudster, he's been lying about the election for the past few years. A lot of his policy had detrimental impacts on people, right? I mean, we can just reference things very particularly, right, in which indicates one to be better or like better than the other one, right? Whereas like for you, it seems like we haven't really provided the relevant difference between Trump and Biden insofar as to say that Biden's somehow a worse candidate.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking with you. I wanted to get the chance to talk to you because I'm here listening to you, and then of course others, and whatever they say in the chat. But I always look at it like this: it's like the lesser of two evils. I'm not saying like Biden is like evil. Because I can't feel personal with it because I can feel like he's not the right president, but at the same time is what he's doing is good and rest for the country, which, I'm glad the last 4 years he's done some good, like with because I talked to also Harry, Harry on the other thing, and, with some of the policies that Harry said, I agree to a lot of those, but I also have like minor suggestions, and I think, maybe a little bit more like kind of like compromise, because at the end of the day, I mean, both these parties, they got to come together in the middle and work for the good of the country. If we're divided, it cannot stand. And if we can't stand, we have no house. So, I'm sorry.
That doesn't mean we should accept individuals like Trump. And Sylvia, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo. Can we get a W, Sylvia, in the comment section right now? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
So we were going back to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So honestly, I see both men as like the type of people who get power and get up there and have money and influence on stuff to where they feel like they could do whatever they want. I've seen plenty of stuff, and I agree. Trump's not all like the best spokesperson, or some of the things he says is it could be offensive and sometimes ridiculous. And, some things I don't agree with Trump, but
But also I've seen the same from Biden, as far as certain things that, get caught, and I'm not saying like conspiracies, like, if it's on video, it's video. Like, you can't deny what's in front of your own eyes.
Like, what specifically would you be referencing?
Well, Biden, I believe, honestly, is, a pedophiliac. I really believe that. Because
And what makes you believe that?
I've seen the way he, interacts with certain, kids that he takes pictures with or is introduced, like especially girls and boys, but mainly towards girls. And I even saw a video where he's like, he
The
made
videos of him with his grandkids?
no, not his grandkids. I'm talking about like random like people that come visit or at an event, for there or take pictures with them, like I'm talking about that. I mean,
Oh my God, Gregory! Thank you so much for the $50 on Cash App. Holy shit, Gregory! Gregory in the comment section. Yo, I appreciate the sunglasses. Holy fuck, Gregory! Thank you so much. Yo, that's actually wild. So I think this is a pretty big assertion to make as it relates to an individual, and you need very, very specific evidence to relate to. So what specific ones could I relate to be able
Well,
to
I'm
indicate
sure-
this specifically?
I'm sure if there was an investigation and, if people were to come out and talk about it like they do with Trump or any other person, that they would come forward. But, that's up to the person that's been, that feels that way. Either they accept it how they felt, or they were told, not to make a big thing out of it, or, they didn't care, bottom line, I mean, frankly, one of the worst things I think in the world is the fact that we have human trafficking in the world. And,
Yeah, I asked you for something specific, right? That shows this. If we don't have something specific, I don't know how you can make a claim in front of so many
video
people.
of this girl, and she was like, want to meet him and shake his hand and all that. And he said the comment, I can't remember. I'd have to look and search it up because I just, my memory of remembering exactly everything that's gone on in the world and my personal life is just too much. But there's a video out there. I've seen it like multiple times from different, sites and sources. And, where he made the comment to her and, she's like, I'm recording this. And then, he was like, oh, because I've seen him, with his hands and with, him like the kissing and,
These are all just really vague, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I want to be able to take this. I'm not going to say that Joe Biden's a great guy. I don't like Joe, right? I'm not a big fan of Joe at all. I'm not going to sit here and act like I am. And there are definitely things he's done in his life where I'm like, that's fucking disgusting. I don't want someone like that in the president's office. But is the case, it's one or the other, right? And I don't see anything right here that you're mentioning that is at all specific to be able to indicate that somehow he's worse than a proven sexual abuser.
if you want,
Appreciate the confetti. Thank you so
want
much. I
next time
appreciate it,
when
Big
I
Z.
come on, I will look up the sources and I will send them to you, direct message and all that, for next time if I ever get back on. I've been trying to get on for the last 2 days, but I really think that it just comes down to, you got two options here, really, and you want to decide what the next 4 years are. Like, if Trump gets reelected again, then he's done after that, because most presidents since FDR, don't go for a third term. But
He's not going for a third term, and you can't anymore.
yeah, exactly. You can't anymore. So, if he gets reelected, then after 4 years, it's done and it's over. And then on to the next election, and whoever else is, gonna run or whatever. But I just
Appreciate the confetti. Thank you so much, Poppy. I appreciate it. And the cap. Thank you so much.
he's a strong leader. Like when Kim Jong-un was like threatening.
Donovan, thank you for the subscription. They just used that specific circumstance with Kim Jong Un to be able to threaten the U.S. I don't see anything that we really got out of that was sufficient.
Well, we got him to calm down. I mean, Trump made.
I mean, he did military tests after that, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, of course he's going to do military tests, but he was threatening to strike the U.S. Like saying he's going to do this. And then Trump rebutted back saying, "Well, if you do that, it will be hell and fury, the likes of which you'll never see."
When did he say that he was gonna? When did he threaten? When did he make that threat?
Back in 2018.
I mean,
That's when he was contacting with Trump.
right, but this is when he was. I mean, this was off of the news cycle that was, reporting this, and the reporters and journalists.
Oh my God, Icy Pain, thank you so much for the $50 on Cash App. People are going crazy today. What's going on? Icy Pain, thank you so much. Let's fucking go. Can we get a W Icy in the chat? W Icy. Sorry, can you finish what you were saying?
I saw it on the news, the news sites, the news sources, the TV, and the journalists, and I read what they were reporting, and they were saying like he's threatening to attack like the country, like nuke the West Coast, like they have the reach now and capability to hit like the West Coast, and for a good second there, me and my family at my house, we were just worried we were going to get nuked, and
I live in California too, man.
oh yeah, what part?
Southern California.
Oh, I'm in northern central though, but.
Yeah, I mean, I was not scared, man.
Well, I mean, hey, if you're not scared of nuclear bombs, that's fine. But,
Appreciate the confetti. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. They're not going to drop it because that's mutually assured destruction. Even with countries like them, they're just doing that to postulate, right? Like they're
that's
to
true, that's
posture,
true.
right? To seem strong, right?
True, but I mean, given enough, I mean, we're all human to where, we're on our emotions to where I believe, they call him the madman, the little tyrant, the dictator, like Rocket Man, and if he wants to shoot a rocket, he'll do it. And his people will be 100% behind him. And, they love him to death, and whatever decision.
I don't think that's necessarily true, but
I mean, yeah, there's
an
some
image of that.
infighting, but I mean, they like literally when his dad died, they're over here like on their knees, crying, like worshiping his casket.
That's at the fear of something bad happening to you.
Yeah, but they're on their knees, like worshiping and like all in disbelief that because they believe their leaders to.
So
be
there's
God.
indoctrination and force.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel and then when with ISIS, I mean we obliterated and destroyed them. He went over there, kicked ass, and I mean a lot of people were involved in it. It wasn't just Trump. Like it was a group effort. And I was really happy about that. And I mean that was a battle and a war I could support because we were seeing and hearing what these people were doing. And like it was sad. And I mean honestly, like I feel like too though, like a little sad for some countries. I'm not saying all countries, but like some countries, like for instance, when like Iraq was getting hit with ISIS, they were literally leaving the equipment we gave them.
Hey man, I want to say specific to the conversation. Like, what's relevantly different between Trump and Biden that means you're going to vote for one versus the other?
Give me a minute, because I want to really think on this. I just honestly I really like him better. I think he's the president I can get behind. Biden, I just don't. I don't know. I don't trust the confidence with him with certain things, and. I mean, for years he's been in office, and you got a guy like Trump that's coming out of the blue. Usually, you work your way from the bottom up, but like, he just went straight for the presidency and won, and like, you gotta get behind. You gotta.
And why are we supporting him? Just because he won?
No, did you hear the rest of what I said earlier? Like
that you were saying because he came out of nowhere and won.
Yes, well, no, like because he wasn't in politics. Like, I mean, yes, he donated to. I mean, candidates. Everyone does that when they have money like that. But
he's been flirting with this idea for decades.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, he has. And I mean, in an interview with I think who was it, Oprah Winfrey, he said, if he ever were to run, it must be really bad for the country and the world, and he wants to do his part as an American and a patriot for this country he loves. I mean, I believe deep down, everyone in this country loves this country. If not, then why are you here? But, other than like, unless you want to see it destroyed.
There are plenty of people in the country that don't like it.
And why is that?
Plenty of reasons. I'm just saying it's true.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But I don't know. I think if that were the case, then, the country would be in really bad shape to where it's not like, I see America as like, we're doing good. People are driving around, prices are decent on consumer products and things, you're able to travel the country and, do vacations, go places. Like
Prices are not great right now.
no, they're not. No.
Also, housing prices are insane.
Oh, believe me.
Appreciate the corgi. Thank you so much.
I have a pretty sizable home where, like after the housing bubble that happened in 2020, like I know, and yeah, right now it's not great, and that's because, we don't have leadership. And I'm not saying I don't know who it is, right? I'm not saying it may not even be Trump, may not even be Biden, it may not be whoever, but, we need the right leadership and right people to be, rambling. I'm not rambling, I'm thinking, hating, Jesus. Man. All right, that's a fine insult, but okay.
All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Rad?
I mean, I just think he's a great president, and honestly, I think he's gonna, win again. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. I don't believe in a lot of the extremist ideas on either side. Liberal or
Yeah, you believe things, but you believe things based on feeling, which fundamentally predisposes us to being just as likely to be as extreme as a lot of the conspiracy theorists are. You really, I'm going to be totally honest, man. You don't really have reasoning for your position. Appreciate the cap. Thank you so much. And you should have reasoning for your position. Otherwise, it's no different than the QAnon sense.
Well, I mean, okay, I'm not QAnon, but I believe.
I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying it's no different in terms of your standard of proof to then believe it.
Well,
so that's why you are then really susceptible to QAnon sense.
Well,
right? Or other people would be really susceptible to QAnon sense who have similar types of methods of believing things as you do.
How I think is everything that's happened in my existence of living in 29 years, of what I've witnessed, what I've seen, what I've heard, what's been talked about, what I've read, it has came to the conclusion of how I am right now in the present, 2024, to where I believe, and it's been off of like the logic. My logic has been based off of what has been occurring and happening. And, I see a lot of problems and I like to solve those problems, but, I personally don't know how, and I want to, and I'll do my part, I do in my community a small part, like I'm with my church. I pick up, garbage in my small town, and, we pick up people to, that are having hard times with, drugs and alcohol and homelessness and getting out of jail and prison. And we give them a second chance back at life to get their life together and, do some good and reunite families and do good for their community, and, it starts small and it goes big.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming up. Thank you so much. Have a great day, man.
Thank you. You too, Parker. Thank you for talking to me.
Of course, man. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a gas request if you will vote for Trump in 2024. Everyone, tap that screen. Oh my gosh. Let's try to get to 500,000 likes, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, I'm 33 years old.
For sure. Are you going to vote for Trump?
Absolutely.
Why?
Okay, so you seem like a very intelligent young man. And my question is, I've been watching for the last hour, so, and I've enjoyed the going back and forth. But my question is, what is it that you don't like about Trump?
Yo, Trey Wilson, thank you so much for the galaxy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, so he's a proven sexual abuser, a proven fraudster. He's had to pay $88
Okay.
million in damages for defamation and for essay, and then $350 million plus interest as it relates to his business fraud.
Okay.
You could talk about the fact that he's been lying about the election for the past few years, saying there's sufficient evidence to indicate that it's overturned, but CISO.gov indicates
So you
that
don't
this
think
was
it
the
was
most.
overturned?
Oh, no, no.
Was there not rallies of people going out on the highways for Biden? And I mean, where do you live? California? So you probably didn't see the hundreds of thousands of flags of vote for Trump 2020, 2024.
I mean, if I went to Huntington Beach, but like as it relates to this very clearly, right, there is no sufficient evidence indicating that the election was stolen. Okay, I appreciate the handout. Thank you so much, Blue Sky. This was the most secure election in recorded history. So if you don't dispute the results of 2016, why would you dispute them in 2020? And then there were 17 particularly Trump-appointed judges that did not indicate sufficient evidence to overturn the election. So either Trump appointed corrupt judges or he lost the election.
Sure, but are we also not in a world, and I mean, as we've gotten older, and you're what, 22?
21.
21, okay. Like, have you not started to see, and you're going to see it a lot more, man, life, it's just not what it seems, you know? There's so much more that we really don't understand. We really don't know what's really going on, especially behind the scenes, you know? And I feel like Trump has just been one of those people who's been a more straight shooter and is calling it all out. I mean, people have been at his throat from the beginning.
Wait, you say he's a straight shooter. I have a good reason to think that's wrong.
Okay.
Are you pro-life?
Okay, that's a very good question. So, I am pro-life, but with the exception.
Yeah, sure. You have
You know what I'm
exceptions.
saying,
Like
like-
the one I'm saying is that Trump has been saying he's pro-life, but privately speaking, he has an abortion stance that is relatively pro-choice. It's a federal abortion ban at 16 weeks, which would include abortions, right, or choices for getting an abortion for most abortions. Okay, so that's a relatively pro-choice position, with exceptions, by the way, and he holds that privately. So he wasn't really upfront with his abortion stance.
Hey,
there.
but what politician is, okay? Like, even look at what Hillary said, or go back to any politician, really, even if they were younger.
But
and
weren't we
getting-
trying to say that he was like different?
What's that?
Weren't we trying to say that he was different here?
What do you mean different?
You were trying to say he's not like the other ones, like he.
No, I was just saying he was a straight shooter. I mean, as far as
But he's not there.
again, you know, when is a politician ever telling the truth? Never, right? Any politician.
No, I think there are many politicians that do tell the truth.
I do not agree with that, but there's a lot that goes into that, being a politician, you know, and basically it's who is the biggest basically who's the popular person.
Can you name one time where Bernie Sanders lied?
Bernie Sanders, okay, the one that didn't win. You know how that goes. Everyone wants a little piece of the pie.
What do you mean?
I mean, you don't think that a woman was, he ended up was convicted of that, correct? But how many people are convicted of that just to basically plead guilty to get off their shoulders, you know, like even that Heard case.
He was forced to pay. This was not to get it off of his shoulders.
Forced to pay.
Yeah, he had to pay $88 million for defamation and for essay. And then he has to pay $350 million plus interest for business fraud.
Wouldn't that suck to have to be in the limelight of all this? To have your whole life blasted on live media?
Well, then he shouldn't have ran for president.
No, I get that. But people who do run for president are going to have that.
Okay.
As far as, because when did she come forward?
Who?
The one that he sexually assaulted.
Sexually abused? E. Jean Carroll, like 2019, I'm pretty sure.
But when was it actually convicted?
Oh, when did he get held liable for essay in the, what's it called?
Yes,
in the civil court? That was probably a year ago, maybe? Less than a year ago?
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, it was just, I'm not blaming the women, but I'm just saying that people all come forward all of a sudden, just like all this criminal case coming up, all of a sudden now it's been pushed back, and then here we are.
So why are you voting for someone who's lying about the election, someone who's a proven sexual abuser and fraudster?
Wait, hold on. Lying about the election, tell me that again.
Yeah, there's sufficient evidence indicating that he lost. He still claims he won.
You don't think it was a little fishy, bro, at all?
No.
None.
It was quite literally the most secure election in recorded history.
This is what's so amazing about America is that we get to have our own opinions, right?
Yeah, even though yours is wrong.
And I feel the same. And that's
I have evidence you don't.
Oh my goodness.
What evidence do you have?
My evidence is
Yo, Lisa, thank you for the galaxy. Let's go. Thank you so much. And that is
I know that it's so much more than just what we're seeing and what we're hearing, honey. I'm not trying to say that you're wrong or I'm right or whatever, but I believe in Trump and I think that, you know, and again, you're just asking me why
your evidence is believe in Trump. Trust me, bro.
My evidence is I wish people understood the reason why they do these things, like throwing Roe versus Wade back out there after how many years? That's crazy. That's crazy.
So you're in support of Roe versus Wade?
I'm conflicted as a woman.
Okay, so again, my point here is, why are you going to vote for Trump? It seems like you have no reason.
No, I'm all Trump.
And
My
that is
reason
why?
because
And why?
my reason is because I just like the way he portrays himself. I like the way I think that he did a great job those 4 years he was president. The stock
What did he
markets
do that
were
was
great.
good?
The stock markets were great. Everything
What did he
was
do that
great.
was good? The stock
Everything,
market's higher now.
Literally everything was great.
Like what? Name one thing.
I just said the stock markets were great.
No, what did he do to influence the stock market?
I think he was, I mean, apparently whatever he was doing behind scenes, I can't really tell you.
Did you know the stock market is higher right now?
The stock market's great still. Yes, it's actually been
Okay,
fluctuating
so
up
you
and
can't
down.
tell me one thing that he did, not one single thing, yet you still want to follow him. That tells me you're voting for him because you feel like him. That's the same thing as me being like, I like the Denver
What do you mean I
Broncos.
feel like him?
Yeah. You said essentially your view is like I feel like Trump is better. All right, and I take facts over feelings.
Okay.
Fact: Trump is a proven sexual abuser.
Okay.
Fact:
That's
he's engaged in business fraud by virtue of the court. Fact: he's been denying the election when there's sufficient evidence
okay. So
indicating
what
that he
about
lost.
Biden and Hunter Biden?
Yeah, so that recently, the person who came out with the Burisma claim with the links between Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, right, got charged for lying.
Did they?
They got charged for lying.
And the voicemails and recordings and everything, those are all lies.
Which ones are you referencing? Because the person we're talking about here was caught lying,
It was the
right, or
ones
charged lying.
that recorded or had the recordings of and what
Yeah,
about
I'd have to see which one you're referencing.
and okay. There's also the Hunter laptop that would never be brought forth
What in the Hunter laptop convicts Joe?
because he was allowing him to speak with him.
Huh?
He was in the middle of doing it.
What? That's Joe from the Hunter Biden laptop.
Okay, well it's still his son, bro.
Yeah, and you didn't say that with Jared. Okay, so like the whole point we want to reference is that it's not Joe. Your best argument against Joe is relating to Hunter Biden, which you can't connect to Joe, right? Whereas I can literally point to facts about Trump in which are bad. I can point to Trump taking over $7 million, right, in funds from foreign governments, okay, including China.
I'm telling you, Biden just hasn't been caught yet.
So again, the House Oversight Committee indicated this to be true about Trump, right? And we're talking about money from China, right? And money from around the entire world. And you're deflecting away from that and not acknowledging that when you're saying that this is somehow an issue for Hunter Biden. Well, this is not even indicting Joe Biden, let alone you're not acknowledging it with Trump.
This is amazing.
And somehow, if Trump is like, you're saying Trump is just likely to get caught then? And Joe Biden somehow like this master manipulator that's not getting caught? I thought he was incoherent.
It's okay. Well, I really enjoyed the discussion tonight. And
Wait, no, he's
no.
incoherent, but he can't get caught?
Oh, you said what?
He's incoherent, but he can't get caught because he's so smart?
Well, you know. No, I don't think that. I just think that it's all the wrong people.
Yeah, but like you don't even know what's wrong about them. So how do you know that it's wrong when you don't even know what? Stefan, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Stefan. W Stefan in the chat. So why are you voting without knowing? Maybe you don't even know how to determine the wrong people. Maybe the process that you're using to determine who you're voting for is wrong.
And that's very true. And it could be the same for you.
Yeah, but like what critique would you have of the way that I've conducted myself as it relates to determining who's a better candidate?
Well, and like I told you from the very beginning, I think you're a very intelligent young man. And, you know, I just wanted to get on here and, you know, state my case of, and I know you don't still believe, and a lot of times you can't get people to change their minds. So that's fine. But as far as what research and what I know and what I've learned, I'm going for Trump.
Yeah, but it seems like we don't have enough reason to say that. So why don't you step back and be like, oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have a position on who I'm voting for just yet if you don't have any reason for that. And again, I can give you plenty of reason to think otherwise. Maggie, thank you for the $4.20. Thank you so much. Do you understand what I'm saying there?
What'd you say?
Like if I just said like I'm going to vote for Biden because I feel like it and didn't provide any sufficient reason, is that good enough reason to vote for Biden?
I would say no.
So why don't we apply that exact same standard to yourself?
So you are going to vote for Biden, is that correct?
Yep.
Even though you said that you don't even really like
Don't
him.
like him? Yeah, because he's a better of the two candidates. At the end of the day, one or the other. I don't like either of them, but one is clearly worse than the other, right? If we look at this, it's like saying, would you rather have 2 plates of shit or 1 plate of shit?
Okay.
Which one?
I guess one.
Yeah, right? You clearly prefer one, right?
Right.
That's kind of like what I'm thinking in my head. Both shit, right? One's just a bit more shit.
Well, I really appreciate your time and thank you for taking my request.
Of course, I appreciate you coming up. Thank you so much.
Take care.
All right, let's go to the next individual. Everyone, only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024. Everyone, if you want to support me, Venmo, Cash App in the bio. As always, everyone, I appreciate everyone who has been doing so today. Y'all have been going absolutely wild. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello?
Yeah, how will you vote for Trump in 2024?
No, I can't vote for Trump in 2024.
Okay, for sure. I appreciate you coming up, though. Thank you so much. All right, let's get to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18.
What's your birth year?
2001. Vote for Trump. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Nice math, bro. I can tell why why you want to vote for Trump. My bad. Can't even vote. Why you want to vote. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
42.
Yeah. How old?
42?
You cut out,
42.
but
Sorry, bud. Am I cutting out on you?
No, you're good. Don't worry. It's the microphone.
Yeah, I'm
Will you vote
42
for
years
Trump in
old.
2024?
So here's the deal. I'm with you on the whole. Both of them are shit. And if I have to choose between the two, I'm probably going to go Trump. Specifically for historically, I work in the oil field. I've worked in the oil field since I was 18 years old. I got over 20 plus years in that. So every time the price of oil and gas goes down, we go out of work. And so the whole time during office, Trump, I was basically unemployed. So historically, we do better under a Democratic president. What was that one do? Bill Clinton.
Actually, under Obama's presidency, it was lower than under Trump.
So yeah, historically, oil field wise, the Bakken up in North Dakota, it was booming. I mean, I worked 2008. They shut down the oil field, and then boom, it popped off in North
Yeah, thank you
Dakota.
for the core. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But no. My point was that again, the prices were lower under Democrats. I don't know what you're talking about as it relates to that.
So the
Mustache,
prices
thank you so much. And Aaron, thank you so much for the $20 on Cash App. Thank you so much. Can we get a W, Aaron, in the comment section? Y'all are going absolutely wild on the Cash App and the Venmo today. Thank you so much.
I'm not talking about the price of oil and gas. I'm talking about economically. We do better under Democratic presidents. Under President Trump, the price was up and we were not working. So ultimately, though, if you check the Freedom Index since 1994, in 1994 we was the 4th freest country on the planet. As of 2008, it has declined rapidly. Right now, since 2008 to right now, I think we went from like 8th freest country down to like right now we're ranked number 27th freest country on the planet. And that's a huge problem. So I don't think like right now economics is like basically our problem. I think us losing our freedom. Being 42 years old, like when I was a kid, we used to use the saying, "Hey, we live in a free country," and it was free. We had freedom of speech. We had freedom. We had freedoms, and I think that's one of the biggest things. One of the biggest selling points for Donald Trump. The dude's a clown, man. I did straight up. I've researched his books. When I went to college.
Wait. If dude's a clown, why do you want to vote for him?
Because of the Freedom Index. So we're going our freedom in the United States. We're ranked number 27th on the planet right now. We went from
Mustache. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
From 2008 to 2024, we've went from 4th freest country on the planet to the 27th.
Can I actually ask you one question about this? This is a really good question. Before I do, Brady, thank you so much for the $6.16 on Venmo. Thank you so much. Melissa, thank you so much for the $5. Donovan, thank you for the $5. And Jaden, thank you for the $10 on Cash App. Y'all are going absolutely crazy. There are Northern European democracies as it relates to Scandinavia that have a higher, or they're lower on the level of are higher on the level of freedom index, so they have
Way
more
higher.
freedom.
Scandinavia is like number one or something.
Yeah, they have more freedom, yet they are more progressive, more left wing than we are.
But they also
economically
have
speaking.
their health care. They have. You're right. And so, and then here's
Are you saying that we should be more left wing?
No, I'm saying this. I'm saying that number one, I think that we need, like Joe Biden and Donald Trump are both. I despise both of them. I think you're eating either way we eat that, we're eating two bowls of shit. You know what I mean? So
No. But like again, you said that you want a higher level of freedom, right?
Well,
the
and so
countries that have the highest
I-
level of freedom are countries in which are economically to the left of us. So are you saying that we should be more economically to the left?
I think that I think that we need to focus more upon, like you was talking about the lady before me, you was asking her if she was pro-choice or pro-life or whatever. We all should choose life, but I mean, when you say pro-choice and when you say pro-life, you take away people's freedoms to choose. And in America, that's what makes us a great country, is that we have the freedom to choose. And the more we go, it seems to me like with the 4 years of Trump, it kind of everybody, like, so we went 8 years with Democratic with Obama. And where I live, they were sick of it. They were tired of it. They were like ready for something new that Donald Trump.
I understand your points, but you're not responding to my point. If
What's
the
your
countries
point?
that are the best as it relates to personal freedom in the world, and that's what you are qualifying your standard to be based upon, right? Why wouldn't you want us to be more economically
I
left-wing?
can't answer that. I can't give you an educated answer upon that because I don't know anything about those other countries. I don't know any way how they run. I've done absolutely no research. And like you said, I went to college in 2002 to 2004.
Maybe then you should do research in them and then look back on it if that's going to be your point.
Well, my
But
point is,
Jacob, thank you for the $5 on Cash App. Thank you so much, Jacob.
it's still that. But my point is that from 2008, America has fallen, and that's on the Freedom Index. You can look that up on Google, whatever, Freedom Index. Since 2008, with a Democratic presidency, and then we have fallen from in the freedom. We're the number
That's also correlated. That's also
right now.
correlated with the recession.
Huh? The recession, but there
correlated
was
with
no
the
recession.
recession.
You're looking at 2008.
Yeah, 2008 there was a recession. That's what you were relating to.
No, I'm relating to the Freedom Index.
The
Where
Freedom
we
Index,
rank
you said
this-
it changed after 2008.
It changed dramatically. Right now, we're ranked number 27.
That's correlated with the recession.
That recession obviously must have lasted since 2000. How long has that been? Almost 20. Almost what? 20 years? Come on.
No, I'm saying that the causes could have been other things other than a president.
I don't know. I think
Yo,
the cause
Guardian
is
of the
all
Soul, thank you for the
laws.
subscription. I appreciate it,
I
Guardian.
think-
Thank you so much.
I don't think that the cause is like economically. I think it's because of people trying to, like, we've got a division in our country. We got half the people that want people to go do what they want to do and people to accept that. Or half the people that, it's like you were saying, like talking about, I mean, like saying in God we trust. You know what I mean? Like President Trump, like the whole time I think he's crooked and he's not as open and honest as everybody says he is. Like as far as like the Patriot Act that was signed that expired, and then they throw out there the legalized marijuana, and then as they're legalizing marijuana, he goes behind the scenes. It doesn't hit the scene. The news media, he re-signs that into office, and then flies back out like,
He re-signs what? Who re-signed what?
The Patriot Act, just the
Who
section.
re-signed
It was
the
like
Patriot Act.
President Trump did.
Okay, so like I don't understand what your broader point is here.
My thing is this. I'm with you on it. If I have to choose between the two, Joe Biden, that dude's old. He's washed up. He's not running the country right now. It's the people that are underneath him that are doing it. We get that. And they are doing a fine job.
Give me any reason to believe it's any different with Biden versus Trump as it relates to how much they're conducting or how much power or influence they exert over the government.
Well, I think with Biden, we've got more people in control, but with Trump, I think it awakens people's that sense of, like, I don't know if you was even alive during the 2000 or when the 9/11 happened. Was you alive during that time?
No.
No. And so I was alive during that time. I was watching the news as the Twin Towers fell, and watched all that happen. And that's something we've seen on our country. And that's the last time I've ever seen this country come together. Black, white, Asian, cowboy, gangster, it didn't matter, man. We all came together, and that was a unity in the country. And it was about being free and being America. It wasn't about making money and who drove a better car or who did this and who did that. It's like straight up. And I think that Donald Trump awakens that with people. And I think that that's what this country, I don't think it needs
Do you
that.
think Donald
extreme.
Trump lowers the amount of division?
Do I think it lowers it? Absolutely not. I think it's a 50-50 split. I think the same, if Donald Trump will split it.
He's definitely correlated with higher levels of division, right? So I don't think you have any reason to believe otherwise.
So what do you think about Joe Biden? Do you think he brings unity to this country?
Joe Biden unity. I mean, I think more unity than what's it called? Trump. You just got age restricted, my guy, but I got to go into the next person. Appreciate you coming up, man.
Uh-oh.
He got age restricted, so we got to go to the next person. Let's try to get them up. Emily, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it, Emily. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to get to the next person. Everyone only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, y'all. Let's get the next person up here, y'all. Yo, it's a Powell to you?
Hi, I'm 33.
For sure. Are you driving?
No.
For sure. Will you vote for Trump in 2024?
No, I will vote for Trump for sure. For sure. That's my goal.
You will vote for him? Why so?
Yeah. So my reason is this. I'm really interested in international events, what's going on in the world, and human life for me is sacred. I'm a pro-lifer in a meaning, not like you understand it, but
It's hard to understand what you're
life-
saying, to be totally real with you. Is there a way you could fix your microphone?
I have
Like
a
unplug
problem
it from your car?
Is that better?
Yeah, it's way better.
Okay. So as I told you, I'm a pro-lifer. Not pro-lifer with the meaning that abortion, all that stuff, no, but pro-life, humanity, human life, that people have the right to live in free and to live. Just life is a sacred thing for me. And what I see happening in the Middle East is evil. And I can't vote for somebody who is helping and financing and
Hey man, I can hear you driving. I'm gonna go to the next person, man.
no, I'm not driving. I'm parked.
I can quite literally hear you, man.
And my car is on, but I'm parked.
I don't know. It very much sounded like it.
Oh, you want
but
me
yeah,
to turn
I
it
guess.
off?
So what are
Hello.
you referencing? No, it's not. It really sounded like it. What were you referencing in the Middle East?
Yeah, okay. I'm saying that what's happening in the Middle East, I can't vote for a president who is helping and financing and arming and aliving of a mass number of people.
Are you talking about Israel Palestine?
Babies, yes. And that's
Yeah. So you know, Trump literally gave billions of dollars to Israel.
yes, I don't care because I want to vote for Trump for one reason. I don't care what his potential. Maybe he's the same. Maybe he's worse. But that's a potential. He might do the same. He might keep going.
No, he is worse. He moved the capital from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, which provoked conflict in the region. He gave billions of dollars in funding to Israel to engage in its campaigns. It didn't give any humanitarian funding to the people of Palestine, whereas Biden actually fought for humanitarian funding for that.
But the difference,
Bree, I appreciate the 9-month subscription. Thank you so much, Bree.
but the difference is I am looking at a person or a president who's doing it right now. He's killing people right now. He's helping and aliving mass number of people right now, helping with
Yeah,
arms.
you're talking about just
money.
giving funds to
Right
Israel, right? Again,
now.
if you're just talking about giving funds to Israel, right? Again,
Yeah,
Trump
and
did the
arms.
exact same thing. So you have to be rational with your determinations
No, it
here.
is
Again,
rational
knowing that
because-
Trump, let me please finish. You have to
Sure.
be rational with your determinations, as it is the case that Trump would engage in the same behavior, if not would provide more funding to Israel and less funding to the people of Palestine.
You just said it.
It seems like, yeah, it
You
seems
just
like your
said it.
determination here is flawed because you're not taking that into account. You
Look.
can't just say like, oh, right now this is impacting people. You have to understand what would have impacted people if it was the Trump administration.
Look, it's happening right now in front of our eyes. He's doing it. The other one will do it. You said it. It's a future tense. It's a potential. I'm sure that he's a piece of shit. The other one is the same.
No, he
But
did do
I
it too,
will-
Adam. I showed you
This
that.
is my purpose of voting for Trump. I want to punish Biden. I don't care. I don't care if he's gonna do the same, but I want to punish the one who's doing it right now in front of our eyes. He's financing it, he's arming it, and he's looking at us with it is just evil. What's going on? He has the right.
That is quite literally the most irrational thing to do.
It
You're
is
acting like you're going to
irrational.
burn down the system because it is the case that currently it's negatively impacting people.
It's burned
But you know that would
already.
negatively impact people to a
It's
greater
already
extent. So
burned.
in you actually trying to do something to help people
It's already
humanitarian,
burned.
in order for you to try to help people humanitarian
Yeah.
in a humanitarian
There's no
sense,
how. He has
in
the
order-
power to stop it. He has the
In order
power
for you to-
cease fire, but he's not doing it. That's evil. I can't stand for that. And I will punish him by voting for Trump. I don't care what Trump will do. I don't care
Hey,
what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna
hey.
punish the person who's doing it right now in front of.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you because I don't know why the fuck you're not hearing that. You're not getting the social cue, I guess. So clearly, right, I'm demonstrating right now that one is worse than the other one. You're saying that you should burn down the system in efforts of going against people that have hurt people. But in doing that, you are hurting people. You understand that, right? This policy that you're supporting, this person you're supporting is going to lead to more harm. Okay? So you can't do this in the efforts of like, oh, I wanna get them back for the harm they caused when it's gonna inevitably cause more harm. That's just like you're not getting your goal. You're going against your own goal there. That makes no sense. You can unmute, by the way. Click the I invited you to unmute, man. Tap the screen in the meantime. Everyone's trying to get to 500,000 likes. Share the live copy link. Send it to your friends. Everyone's trying to get to 1,000 shares, everyone. Yo, Ira, thank you so much for the galaxy. I appreciate it, Ira. Thank you so much. 420, everyone. 420, lol. Adam, are you there, man? Adam, I sent you an invite to unmute your microphone, man. Okay. If you can't figure it out, we might have to go to the next person, everyone. Do you tap that screen? Do share the live, everyone? You already know the deal. We're going to give him like 15, 20 more seconds. You won't listen to wait. Maybe. We'll give him 10 more seconds, everyone. 10 more seconds, and then I'm going to invite. All right. One more second. Okay, I sent him another invite. If you can't undo it right now, then I'm going to go to the next person. Okay. All right, we're going to go to the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Let's get the next person up here, everyone. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump.
Hi. How are?
Hey, what's up? Good. Thank you for the hand. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Killer. Oh, will you vote for Trump in 2024?
Yes, because I tell you, I don't see the people in this country, either party, treating the disabled people very well. I grew up learning disabled. And I'm a conservative that don't have against voting for a liberal or conservative. I vote for the best person. But people are mean to disabled people in this country. They're mean to them. They put them down. They call them lazy. And I'm 61 years old. Why should I have to constantly go without a job and have people brag towards me that they got a job, they got money, they got this? And both parties do that. Both parties. People have a problem with arrogance in this country, and it's both parties.
Yeah. So, Trump has actively mocked disabled people. Secondly, as it relates to Republican administrations, they are negatively correlated with Social Security programs and programs that are meant to help disabled people. So clearly, when we see Republicans in office, right, that is shown to be a detriment towards the policies that are meant to benefit people who are disabled. So although I might acknowledge that it is the case that both Democrats and Republicans oftentimes will be ableist, right, and will engage in harmful things targeted towards disabled people, I do acknowledge the reality that Democrats, right, create systems in which are more positive, right, for disabled people, even though there still are negatives that exist. And I think there's a lot of work that has to be done towards the Democratic Party in order for it to be a better place for disabled people and many other groups of people in the U.S.
I might vote for Haley. my vote might go towards Haley. Hopefully she'll do a lot better, but I don't know about winning the nomination, but
David, she wanted to increase the retirement age to 70 years old, which is 5 years more than what it was right now at 65. They might have gone to 67. I'd have to check though. But and let alone that, but there would also be other types of policies likely that she would support that would be antithetical to just getting help for disabled people. So why wouldn't we try to vote for people who would be more likely to bring about policies meant to benefit people who are disabled?
as a disabled person, I feel sad that they can't understand me as a disabled person, that I'm sad because I don't have a job. I'm with a sister that don't treat me right at home. Everybody's so negative, and I live in a rural area, and they could care less. I'm talking about both parties. So this party called Forward is a good alternative. There's a new party, they're starting a new party called Forward, and it sounds really good. It's a bipartisan party. And maybe that might be something really positive for America,
Yeah. In order for us to be able to get parties like this to actually have any traction in the United States, we need more than a two-party system, right? In countries around the world, they have preferential voting. So essentially, if I were to vote for Jill Stein, right, a Green Party candidate, right, and I can set my second preference as Joe Biden. So if Jill Stein doesn't win, my vote then goes to Joe Biden. So what that does is it legitimizes third parties in America.
Yeah.
A forward party like you're mentioning right now would actually be able to gain traction. Right now in our current system, that's not able to be done. Right now, it would just take away from our second preference, which would then possibly lead to the person that is way against our values, then becoming the person in power.
I was wondering if sometime in the future that we could wake up and we could find that we have a president that we don't even know. How'd that happen, I was wondering if anything like that could ever happen.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I think that it happens to a greater degree now because we have a lack of accountability in America. So we need ranked choice voting. We need preferential voting right now for us to be accurately represented so that we can actually hold our politicians accountable. Without it,
because we all
it's really
have
hard
to live together. We all have to live together. And what I don't like about political debates on TikTok and stuff, and this isn't a personal thing, I don't like all the swear words and everything they use. I think it's unprofessional. But they're I'm not saying that they're not well-meaning, but I say it's out of line for these two political care for the country. We just have to find solutions that work for everybody instead of just a choice few.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, David. Is there anything else you'd like to bring up or
That-
talk about before we go on to the next person?
I'm for higher education, even for the disadvantaged people, and I think that a lot of these colleges are trying to lock us out of that, because I was gypped out of even going to college because there was bias there too, and I was disappointed.
Absolutely.
And
There
I
should be
think
free
there should
public
be more.
universities for everyone in the U.S., not just people who are
Yes,
my age,
yes.
but for every single person in the U.S., because I think that's fundamental towards people having upward mobility. So I absolutely agree with you there, David. Thank you so much,
very
David, for coming
much,
up.
and God bless you.
Of
Thank
course,
you.
man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next individual, everyone. Only the guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App in the bio. Let's get the next person up here, everyone. Keep tapping that screen. Let's try to get to 750,000 likes, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? All right, let's get the next person up here. Please only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, everyone. Appreciate everyone. Appreciate everyone as always. Let's get to the next individual. Please only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, everyone. As always, we're just looking for some debates. All right. For some reason, it's not accepting people up here. I do apologize. Sometimes it takes a second in between to get some people up here. I am trying to get people up here in the meantime, though. Let's get some people up here, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, 21. What's up?
Sure. Will you vote for Trump in 2024?
Yes, sir. I
Why
will.
so?
I feel like Trump is he's a more real president. And like, he just keep everything real. And I feel like how the taxes is and everything is like high right now. I feel like he can make everything back to normal, like how it usually was when he was president.
Did you know we're still on Trump tax policy?
Are we?
Yep.
I didn't know that, but I feel like Trump is just like he's a good president, man. And he's way better than Sleepy Joe. I could tell you that.
What's relevantly different between Trump and between Biden that makes you think that Trump is a better candidate comparative to Biden?
Joe Biden, he doesn't like his.
He just left chat. What just happened, bro? Okay, we're getting the next individual. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, everyone. It didn't even say he left. Maybe that was really weird. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Chat, no, I cannot run in 2036. I would be 34. I would be 34. You got to be 35 to run. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, I'm 32. My wife is driver right now. We're both truck drivers.
Oh, is there a way you can come at a different time? It's extremely, extremely hard to hear you, and the background noise is really high. So I'd love to talk to you, but
Can I send a message when we're parked in about maybe half hour to about an hour?
yeah, I'll follow you back. I can't quite hear you right now, but you can message me there. All right, everyone, let's go to the next individual. Please only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, I am old enough to have gone to war.
For sure. Will you vote for Trump in 2024?
Yes, 100%. I'm glad I got up
Why
here,
so?
man. It's been hard listening to some of these people. I'll tell you what, I think he did a lot of good things. I know I hear, I don't know what the word. I don't want to say cop out, but I hear you constantly talking about he has been convicted of this and convicted of that. I would say, and I think you would agree, he still has a lot of appeal room, right?
I don't think those appeals are likely to go through. I mean, they haven't been. So,
Real quick,
the appeals have gotten rejected.
none of them have been rejected. what are your legal positions on why you think they'd be rejected when they are actually going to an appeals level? Why do you think they'd be rejected?
Oh, because they went through in the first place. That would just indicate that it's likely to have done so based on commonality. But if you want to,
Did you know the
if you want to
majority of
relate,
civil cases? Did you know the
there,
majority of civil cases of that magnitude are almost automatically anymore overturned on appeal? And I'll give you a good example on the E. Jean Carroll
no, no,
one.
no, 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 that the likelihood of them being appealed. I'm just referencing specifically, you can reference the federal appeals court that rejected Trump's claim of absolute immunity. That's like one of them.
That's the very first appeals court, right? That's what you're referencing.
Aren't they sending it up right now to the Supreme Court?
Yeah, but you have to remember
to send it back down to the appeals court, which would then mean that it's
no,
completely appealed.
that's not always what happens. You have different ways that an appeals can come out. An appeal can be remanded, so an appeal could say, hey, let's say I was convicted, I appeal to my first appellate court, right? So it would be my circuit appellate. I think where these are happening are like, what is it, the Fourth Circuit? I can't remember. Anyways, let's say I appeal to the Fourth Circuit, and that 3-panel judge is who's going to first hear my appeal. Let's say that 3-panel judge disagrees with my first appeal. I can get an en banc appeal, so I can re-appeal to that court and say I want the full panel of judges in this appellate to hear my case. That could get rejected. If that's rejected, then I can continue forward. And so now I would move up to the Supreme Court level. So there's different levels of appeal. So a great example in the E. Jean Carroll one, E. Jean Carroll had to get the judge to allow her, and then they had to move like they literally had the state legislature pass a new law just to allow E. Jean Carroll to even bring a civil suit in the first place. So the mountains that had to be moved just
What
for
was
E.
the
Jean
reason
Carroll.
why they had to do that?
First, the statute of limitations had run. New York state law at the time said if the statute of
And
limitations
for people
had
who
run,
don't know what that is, could you explain what that is?
the statute of limitations, so specific laws, pretty much every law except murder has a statute in which if you don't bring the charge or you don't bring the case within a specific time frame, then you can no longer say like, hey, I'm going to go to court over this. So let's
all
say the
that we
statute of
did here
limitations is
specifically,
25 years. Go ahead.
yeah. So all we did here specifically was just ensure that there was more time that you could have to be able to bring a case to court to be able to hold some. So really,
Well,
the notion is still that it's applicable. It's just been a long time.
I mean, did you really like? And I'm being honest with you, and I would hope you'd be honest with me. Did you really actually watch or hear or see anything from the E. Jean Carroll case?
Yeah, I saw certain things. I mean, I haven't seen everything, but
So
I've absolutely
you saw that
seen
they
certain
brought
things.
you saw that they brought 2 other women in to say he did something bad to me, right?
The 2 other women, they were friends of Eden.
No. There were 2 separate women that they had brought into the case, and those 2 separate women, they were not E. Jean Carroll's friends. They were 2
Are
separate
you trying to
women.
reference others? I thought you were referencing the friends.
There were 2 other
Because
women
that's
in the E.
typically
Jean
what
Carroll
comes up
case.
at the first. But what's up?
No. Listen, just real quick. Let me finish real quick. Sorry, I've waited like an hour and a half to get this out. So there are 2 other women that were brought in. They were not E. Jean Carroll's friends, and they have never in their lives made any claims, made any police reports, anything. So they allowed 2 other women to come into the case and say, oh, Trump did something bad to me, so you should believe E. Jean Carroll. The reason that that's extraordinary is because that's typically against federal procedure. You cannot bring somebody else in to say he did this to me because he wasn't convicted of it. So it's called a prior bad act. So allowing somebody to come in and say, oh, well, he did this to me, so that means he's guilty here, is such a big taint on the case. It's
Can
not
you
even
show me
funny.
where legally we can't do that in a civil case?
Yeah, it's the federal rules of federal rules and procedures of evidence. You can go read the federal rules and procedures of evidence.
Where could I find
Um,
that?
It's literally, if you just Google federal rules of procedures and evidence, you can look up prior bad acts and read that.
Rules, rules. So federal rules and procedures. What?
Yeah, federal rules and procedures of evidence.
All right, we'll look this up.
So it was ultra unique that a judge allowed this to happen. And I'll give you another scenario where this happened. Bill Crosby's case. The reason Bill Crosby's case was overturned was because the judge in that case also allowed
Wait, hold up.
the
Before you
same
do,
thing.
I just want to be able to go over this. So, as it relates to the context of this, in the rules of evidence, what did you want me to look under?
It's called prior bad acts. I don't know what the specific. I can't remember the specific number.
Not a single thing comes
for
up
that.
on the Federal Rules of Evidence in 2024. for
Okay,
that.
well, if you Google it, it's there. I know for a
Nope.
fact it's there.
I'm
So
currently on the website right now for this specifically, the Federal Rules and Evidence one. Right,
okay,
I
well,
did a control find.
it's
I looked up exactly what you said, and nothing came up.
it's. I
Zero
promise you it's
results.
there. It is
Literally did a
against the
control
federal.
find.
It's against the federal rules of evidence to allow introduction of acts that a person has not been convicted of as evidence for something that you are trying to charge them with now, unless they were charged and
I
convicted
also
of
went to
that
this.
prior
Look,
act. Okay, like I said, you can read it. I'm not lying to you. I have a degree in
look. No,
this.
I'm just
I'm telling you
telling you,
exactly
dude.
what it is. I
Look,
guarantee. Yeah, I can. I mean, I can barely see what you're doing,
this
but
is prior
yes.
bad acts, and I've searched it up on the literal document, specifically a 42-page thing
Okay,
of
well,
the
that's what
Federal
its
Rules
current
and
term is.
Evidence.
I don't know what copy you have. I have no idea. I'm
This is literally the one that first comes up, right?
okay.
It's
Well,
the
then
Federal
look it
Rules
up
and
in
Evidence from
Crosby's
December
case. I don't know what to tell
2020.
you. I don't have. I can't go and Google it for you, and I'm not going to go Google it for you. I understand if you think it's not true, but this is absolutely true. Federal
But you can't even
rules
Google
on
it, right?
evidence do
That
not.
just tells me you're kind of lazy. Then I'm sorry, but that's
It's not that I'm
ridiculous.
lazy.
Yeah.
It's that I know it's true. I do this a lot. I know that it's true. So the
Well,
federal
you
rules
do
of
this a
evidence
lot
do
with
not,
what?
as in I've worked for multiple law firms in both civil and criminal defense, in civil
Jerry, I
torts,
appreciate the
you
subscription. Thank you
name
so
it.
much.
I'm telling you, the federal rules of evidence do not allow you to bring in unconvicted bad acts. So let's say you were put on trial for rape. They could not bring
You have
two
to say
other
all
women
word or
in and
essay,
say,
by
oh,
the
yeah,
way.
that guy, yep, sorry, grape. Anyways, um, let's say that occurred. I couldn't bring in, if I were the prosecutor, I couldn't bring in other people who point the finger. You say, yeah, he did it to me too, right? Because that would be, you would be messing with the evidence itself. Since you weren't convicted of it prior, you can't use it, right? Now, in a civil case, which is exactly what happened with Crosby, the judge has a small window of leeway to allow it. The problem is that in almost every case, and I would even say probably 100% of cases where this has occurred, especially at a high profile, appeals courts have overturned the conviction. Well, it's not even a conviction. They've overturned the ruling of liability, right? So, and the greatest example so far is Bill Crosby. Bill Crosby, they had what, like 16 other people come in
Subscription.
and
Thank you so
say
much.
he
I
did
appreciate
this
it.
to me. The Supreme Court there found, hey, not only was this improper, but you tainted this so badly that justice could not have been carried out anyways. You messed with the evidence so much and so broadly that no reasonable person could have gotten a fair trial. What I'm saying is in the E. Jean Carroll trial,
How
in
does this
the
make it not a? So how does this make it not a fair trial?
because
Right, to bring
what
it
I'm
up. And
getting
for the
at
people who
here,
are saying 404B in the chat, I literally looked up 404B. There's one place where it mentions it, and it does not bring up anything related to what he's saying right now.
okay, well that's what it's called though. It's called prior bad acts. So
Are
it
you a
is in the federal
lawyer?
rules. I'm not an attorney. It is in the federal rules of evidence. I'm telling you that
Okay,
it exists.
so I'm not getting anything from this. I literally looked
Okay,
up
well,
for rules evidence
I hate to say,
directly
other
on the
people in the
page,
chat have
and
found
I
it.
looked up
I mean,
prior bad acts. I also did the 404B, right? I
I
looked
hate to
that
tell
stuff
you,
up, and nothing
because
came
you
up for
can't
it
find it
specifically.
doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I apologize that you can't find it.
Ashley, by the way,
I
if you'd like
can't.
to come up, since you are a federal attorney, you can absolutely send a request.
Okay, great. Anyways, so because you can't find it, I'm sorry. I'm telling you, in the rules of evidence, you can't just introduce somebody saying, "Oh yeah, they did something wrong to me too," or "Yeah, they did this," unless you were convicted of it. Then you would be able to bring it up that they've done this before, and that would become evidence that hey, they had the propensity to do it again. Again, in a civil trial, there's a lot more leeway to what can be brought in and out, because you're not weighing ultimate, like you 100% did it. There's no doubt. Doubt is always going to exist. It's how liable for something you are, what percentage of liability you have. Long and short is he has a lot of appeal runway still. If he appeals and they overturn it, will you take back your comments?
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we have that clear too.
Yeah, but
do you
Jake, before
believe-
you do, Ashley is a federal attorney, so
Hey,
you
Ashley.
can ask her your specific question.
Hey,
if you'd like
how
to.
are you?
I don't need to ask it.
So
I don't need to ask.
you're
She
actually
can explain.
incorrect. But by the way, I'm licensed in federal court for the United States of Arizona, and I practice in the Ninth Circuit. So you have to
Okay,
have a
Ninth
special
Circuit. Thank you.
licensure for that. So in the federal court, in fact, what you're talking about is, there's different burdens for admissibility of evidence. And if there is a witness that has a statement by what we call the party opponent, in this case, it's Trump, that is admissible. Okay. So you're talking about in certain standards for criminal cases, there's tons of exceptions. And when those types of evidence get pulled into court, you can bet that the opposing attorney is going to file a motion to exclude through
Correct.
using a motion limiting. And if that's
Yeah.
rejected, it's because the judge has to look and weigh the evidence. He has to look at the propensity for the evidence to be prejudicial, right? If that
Yes.
is the probative value. So in that case, he actually ruled to admit it because the probative value outweighed. And on top of that, it was, again, statements of a party opponent, which would be Trump. So just wanted to
Correct,
clarify.
but you agree that that's, and I'm not saying it wasn't allowed to be admitted. That's what I said was the judge ruled that he would allow the admittance. But you would agree that that would be a huge, like you would ask for a written ruling. That would absolutely be something that you would appeal on, correct?
No, I wouldn't appeal
Like
on
if you
that
were on the
issue.
defense side of it.
Sure. So if I was on the opposing side, when we file motions in limine, you can't you have to pick and choose your battles, because
I agree.
if it clearly falls under the rules of evidence, to file an appeal, it would make you look very, very bad as a lawyer. I would not file an appeal because you have a reputation to uphold. So if you're filing appeals on stuff that you know is admissible under the rules of evidence, not only is the judge going to be pretty ticked off, because again, you want to preserve it for the real stuff. So that would not be something that I would file an appeal on.
I mean, that's what they did in the Crosby case. They brought 16 women in to say this. They absolutely appealed based on that. I mean, that's widely known. And the Supreme
Right,
Court of
and
that state overturned it, and they cited that they felt that the judge's allowance of the introduction of so many people, the overwhelming amount of people for the case, they actually cited that in their one of their points of reasoning as to why they felt that this was kind of like, hey, this was too much. I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
You're claiming, really quickly, that they filed an appeal and that the appeals court overruled the lower court's ruling that the evidence was admissible, and then it remanded it. Is that your position?
No, they didn't remand it. Actually,
Okay.
the
Then
initial
once-
appeal did not.
Yeah, you're confused, because I'll tell you how procedure
I'm
is.
not
If you-
confused. They
Yeah.
appealed. Bill Crosby's team appealed. I mean, it's in writing. You can go
get
read
it.
it.
They lost their appeal, is what I'm telling you, because what happens when you
they
file
didn't
an
lose their
appeal?
appeal because the Supreme Court of their state overturned his conviction. He's a free man right now. Is that correct?
You're talking about him overturning the conviction?
Yes, they
And you're
overturned
stating-
Bill Crosby's conviction. They
Right.
released him.
And
they did not remand it back to the lower
We're
court.
talking about Trump. So you're bringing up a whole other case. I didn't
No,
realize
I'm
we
not.
switched
I'm
gears
not
here.
because they're similar cases. They're similar
No,
cases. They are
that's
both.
not quite
yes.
how it works. Yeah.
No, they're similar
So
cases.
you can't.
And
Yeah,
those cases
I
both reside in the
understand.
same circuit.
Okay, but you
Bill Crosby's
do
case
realize.
and Trump's case reside in the same circuit, so that means it's
Mhm.
precedent. So Bill Crosby's case can be used as a precedent inside of his circuit, yes or no, since they're in the same circuit.
Okay. Do you think that Trump's
Can you
case is going to
disagree
be
with me
ruled in
for
the
one
same way?
second?
I
that-
disagree
that
with you
So
100%.
you disagree that a case in the same circuit would absolutely be used as precedent in that circuit.
I think you should. I think you should let her respond. And by the way, Ashley, you are paused out of the app just right now, so we cannot hear you currently.
Oh, can you hear me now?
There
We
you
hear
go.
you now.
Yeah, you dropped.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
If a
no
case
worries.
is in your circuit, so you're in the Ninth Circuit. So are you telling me you would look outside of your circuit for precedent first, or inside your circuit?
You have to use precedent that's applicable. And that's what I'm
But
telling you
inside of
is
your
that
circuit, like you wouldn't go
did you
to the
not
Fourth
okay.
Circuit.
Are you listening?
But Jake, please let her.
Yeah. You have to use what's called applicable precedent, which means if you're pulling precedent that has different rulings based on different issues, then it's not going to be, carry a lot of weight with the court. And all I'm saying is that you're literally comparing Trump's witnesses who are giving party opponent testimony to this other case where you don't even know why it was overturned. Without me, I could pull
I know why.
evidence.
I
Well,
said
yeah,
why.
but you also claimed that evidence was admissible that isn't. So that's why I'm saying
I
there's
did not.
something more to
What
it.
evidence did I claim was admissible that wasn't?
You're talking about Trump's witnesses. You're saying, the witnesses against him because they're talking about
I'm
his
saying
actions.
I'm saying that the plaintiffs in the case, I didn't say it wasn't admissible. I said that the plaintiffs in the case brought forward two other women who claim he did the same thing, right? That there was motions to exclude it, that the judge allowed it. He said he would narrow their testimony. Then I just me personally believe that narrowed testimony was wide open. It didn't feel narrowed at all. And I'm saying that exact same situation happened for Bill Crosby. Bill Crosby was accused of the same acts, sexual abuse, rape. He was accused of those exact same acts. Oh, great. Sorry. Same acts that they used the exact same thing. They brought in other women who accused him of the exact same acts, and that the Supreme Court of that state very pointedly said, we are overturning his conviction because, and in their list of reasonings why, of the multiple points why his attorneys appealed and what the Supreme Court said or didn't say, they said, we felt that introducing these witnesses basically tainted the case, that we felt that you bringing in this many people and the judge's discretion to allow it to happen was so opposite to Bill Crosby's. So Bill Crosby was not able to defend it because you just overwhelm the jury with so much stuff from those women. I'm sorry, it's late and I can't think of the words I want to put together there, but you overwhelmed them so much with this, which normally would be tailored, right? Normally, if I allow it as a judge, I would have to say, okay, I'll allow it, but in these specific instances, right? You can
So
speak
give
about these
me,
specific things.
okay, so hold on.
Those,
You
those are
understand,
similar cases.
okay, you're saying that you understand precedent. Give me the holding in that case. What was the
Oh
holding?
gosh, I
That's
don't
kind of
remember. I'm
important
going to be
because
honest with you.
this is what I'm saying. You're not understanding that you're saying all the cases were similar. Well, the holding of the case is how attorneys decide if it's precedent that should be used because it applies. So for instance, right, the holding could be that the conviction was overturned because the prejudice by the weight of the evidence brought forward and the reasons that it was brought forward outweighed the probative value, right? And they could go into details like, well, it's because there were 20 witnesses and they didn't talk about
Yes.
the opponent's statements, right? But all of that is going to be in the holding. So you're comparing two different cases, which when I'm telling you procedurally are quite different, okay? And the witnesses again against Trump, they're focusing on party opponent statements. So those are statements that Trump made, right, that incriminate himself, and that is absolutely admissible. It just is.
That's not, but Trump didn't know. I think you're thinking of some different evidence. These were the plaintiff's witnesses, E. Jean Carroll's
Yeah.
witnesses. These were not Trump's witnesses. These were not Trump's statements. They were not.
No, I'm
These
talking about
were
witnesses against Trump.
these were
Yeah.
two. Yes, these were two women who claim that at various times in his life, or at different times, that he did to them what E. Jean Carroll claims happened to her, but they weren't even the same types of instances. Eugene Carroll claims that he went into some like back room of a department store and raped her or raped her. So,
Hmm.
you know, that's they didn't even claim that. They claimed, oh well, it was at a party here or it was at a residence here. So it wasn't even the same instances, but they allowed that evidence to come in, and that's the judge's choice.
Right.
But
And
you
when I'm
can't say that
talking,
these cases aren't similar. I mean,
when I'm
you have a
talking
person.
about, if you'll let me interject a moment,
Go ahead.
when I'm talking
Go
about
ahead.
statements, I'm not talking about Trump's testimony. I'm talking about when I say statement by a party opponent, this is what that means. So you've
Hmm.
heard what hearsay is, I'm sure, because
Yes,
I hate if they get it wrong all the time. Hearsay
I know.
is basically you heard someone say something, right? And if you sit in court and you testify, so and so said this, it's not admissible unless, okay, you are testifying specifically to statements made by what we call a party opponent. So if you're a plaintiff's witness and you're called to the stand and your testimony is about what the defendant said, it is admissible because it's considered a statement by a party opponent. So I'm talking about the witnesses testifying specifically to things that Trump would have said, right? When he's engaging in the conduct that he's being accused of. Now
Yeah, so, yeah,
it's
I
saying,
understand what you're getting
okay,
at.
this is right. So, and they use that primarily for character evidence. So when you talk about limiting the scope, oftentimes judges will make sure that they're not trying to weasel something in the wrong way and use it in the wrong form, and a judge
Correct.
isn't going to risk their career, right, to compromise these rules. I mean, again, it's not like the movies. It's a lot of procedure that goes into it. So I'd be curious to
I
see.
understand.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
That's all.
I'm not saying that he wasn't allowing it. And he said that, well, the judge says that they narrowed it, right? They were not going to allow them to say specific things. Obviously, I'm sure there was a lot of back and forth about what they could and could not say. What I'm
Right.
getting at is that in another similar case inside of that circuit, which was Bill Crosby, that's the most famous one, the same argument was made on appeal, and he was successful in that appeal. He had his
But we
conviction
don't
overturned.
know. We don't know because I don't have that appeal in front of me, right? And I'm
I
not
understand that.
holding. I mean, so when we say, the same thing, there's so much paperwork. I am a trial attorney. I've litigated in federal court. I've litigated against the FTC. I do various areas of practice, and I'm just saying that when we go to trial, it is intensive. The
I
pleadings
know.
alone. I had a criminal case for police brutality where they ended up dismissing the case after a year and a half of litigation because the police officers were physically abusive to my client. They tried to suppress a bunch of evidence. They didn't want photos in, right, of her being completely bruised and banged up because they stated that no injuries were sustained. So they filed motions in limine to suppress the evidence. They filed to suppress the expert that we had retained, all of that stuff. And then I have to respond, right? That paperwork alone is over 150 pages in pleadings. And that's for
Oh, I understand.
a state.
I think usually that would be like me doing the paperwork, but
Yeah,
I get you.
yeah, and you've probably done paralegal stuff, and that's,
That's
paralegals
what I'm
do a lot
saying.
of good work. But the attorneys, I mean, the reason we're licensed is we have to know the backdrop of why
Yes.
exactly this stuff is important.
And I don't disagree with you, by the way. Like I
Sure.
said, I can't practice law. The majority of the work that paralegals have to do is research and bring it forward, and then the attorney has to make that decision.
Right.
But that's what I was getting at was, at least me, in my opinion, I feel that these cases are in the same circuit. I felt that they had the same fact pattern, minus drugging, but I felt they had kind of the same fact pattern. The same issues arose where witnesses were allowed in, given what was considered narrow testimony, and then that testimony was not very narrow at all. They Crosby appealed, lost his first appealed to the Supreme Court, Pennsylvania, and they overturned it. And that was my whole thing was, a lot of these cases, especially civil cases and civil cases with large amounts of money involved, typically will go to appeal almost right away. They'll go to appeal, and then two, they tend to either have two things happen: either the reduction, they'll uphold, yeah, they did it, but they'll reduce the amount, or it'll get appealed as far as it can get appealed. And a lot of times they're remanded to lower court or overturned. If they're remanded, then that process takes effect, and it's a whole other thing. But that's
Well,
what I
right.
was
By the
getting
way,
at, is
by the
that
way,
it's
Jake,
not
wait,
through his
I don't mean
appeals.
a lot of people really do this. It's Cosby. It's Bill Cosby. It's not Crosby. I think you're thinking of like the kicker on the
Sorry.
Packers.
Sorry.
You're
No
fine. Don't
worries.
worry.
Cosby, yes.
But anyways, I wanted to
That's
chime
what I'm
in
saying, is that
because
he has a
yeah,
lot of
go ahead.
he has a lot of appeal runway left still. So to just like automatically say, yeah, he did it, boom, it's done, finished, it's over, like, put
Yeah,
the
and
check on
everyone's
the
gonna have
box.
their opinion.
There's a lot of runway still.
I will tell you, so I've watched Parker's lives a lot, and he is very, very well researched. So that's why when I see a guest come on and they're saying, this and that, he's very honest. If he hasn't looked into something, he won't say, oh yeah, I know this. So I'm going, no. He's, I wanted to just get that out there that he was correct on that. But anyways, so.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it because
So we at least agree there's a lot of runway.
Yeah,
It's not over yet.
that's true. But
It's certainly not absolute. I mean, to speak like it's absolute, that's what I was getting at, is there's a lot of runway left. And Lord knows it seems to be, at least lately, that a lot of stuff that he's appealing, even like right now, we're here in the Colorado case in the Supreme Court, even the liberal justices are saying, hey, this doesn't sound right. So I'm just saying he seems to be lucky lately in his appeals process on certain big things.
well,
So he's got a lot of runway left.
the sad part, and I can say this I've been an attorney for 11 years now and run my own law firm. There are a lot of people in the legal field who will file frivolous appeals and, just hope that they don't get their hand caught in the cookie jar because they have a
Yeah.
client that has a lot of money and is well funded. And primarily I work in corporate law and corporate litigation for complex civil litigation through, partnerships falling apart, or if there's a, breach of contract, shareholder complaint, issues like that. So what I do see a lot is these companies that have a lot of money and they say, hey, I'll pay you to file this appeal, do what I want. I mean, it happens, unfortunately. And to me, it's a huge abuse of the justice system because we really need to preserve the justice system for the cases that have merit. And so that's something that they are really trying to proactively change. That's why attorneys have ethical rules that we're supposed to follow. That's why they try to, handle their licensing as an issue when they do misstep, which, we've seen that happen with Trump's attorneys in the past. So that's when I see stuff like that happen, I'm going, I don't really put much clout in the appeal. I try.
Well, if you look at the Cosby case, I think that they're very similar. And I think that the faults that they found in those cases, and again, I have no idea what they're going to actually appeal on, but if they appeal and the arguments are made the same way, I feel like they might be successful in that. And who knows? Maybe he's not, and he sticks with it. Like I said, he's got a lot of legal, appeal runway. So we'll see.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, how it pans out. I don't think that the appeal will be successful. However, it's possible it would be, right? With things like this, that's why we have judges. You never know for certain how something's going to go.
By that time, somebody else is going to be elected anyway. So who knows? I think, like you said, you do complex litigation. So
Yep.
I'm sure your appeals processes are years in the making sometimes.
Oh
So,
yeah, ours take a long time. But with this, they are trying to streamline. And again, you have that right to a speedy trial for criminal law. So they try to move things a bit faster. My criminal cases are leaps and bounds different from my civil cases. Civil cases.
this is a simple one.
You're talking about the charges then against him for harassment.
No, the E. Jean Carroll one, the sexual abuse and defamation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
No, not that
yeah,
I
I
don't know
mean,
what his harassment was.
yeah, that could go on. That could go on quite a long time. So,
But yeah. By the way, thanks for coming up.
yep, yeah.
I
All
appreciate it. I
right,
appreciate it, Ashley.
you guys have at it. Enjoy
Thanks.
watching. So.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Ashley. Have a good day.
Bye.
Um,
You too.
I was going to say too. So we talked about oil prices earlier. I think it's fair to say that I've heard a lot of talk about like whether a president does or does not influence oil prices. What is your? I guess let me ask you your position first. Do you think the president does or does not influence oil prices?
I think in this situation, there was like no effect between Trump and Biden. Like, I really don't think that Trump being in office would have caused a difference in inflation.
So
What makes you think that?
Let me ask this, and that's what I was going to get at. Do you think that you talked about how it's supply and demand, right? And then that fluctuation between OPEC and Russia and these others, how they basically reduced the supply, which helped obviously cause some of this inflation in gas prices. But would you agree that if we were still producing as much oil and still allowing drilling and still allowing, let's say the pipeline was done, let's say all these things had occurred, do you think that we would have more strategic reserve, that we would have more ability to self-regulate pricing inside of our country than being dependent upon OPEC?
I think that we'd be dependent upon those pricing anyway. Like, this is global oil pricing, which has an impact on us and our global commodities, as are a lot of the commodities we buy are not coming from specifically just the U.S. They come globally. Okay, so as
then
it
why
relates to,
is Biden releasing from the strategic
as it relates to,
reserve?
let me please finish. Because that's, I mean, I think Trump would have done similar things in the circumstance. What you're really saying though is that, like, if we kept up, if we didn't cut off the leases on federal lands for that little time period, because we brought it back, it's been back, and we're producing higher rates now than we were under Trump's administration.
Of oil, you mean we as a country are
In the
producing
U.S.
more
In the
oil
U.S.,
than
we are
Trump did?
producing more oil than Trump did. Yeah.
Can you cite that for me?
Yep. The EIA.
No, I mean, like, give me an actual site. Like,
Yeah.
don't just say one giant department.
Crude oil production EIA.
Okay,
Look that up in
but
Google.
for what year?
That will give you a chart of all the years.
Okay, I'll look it up. I don't think that's accurate. I believe that.
I'll literally show it to you right now
there's been
because
a-
you're bullshitting.
I'm not bullshitting. I just said I don't.
Yeah,
think
you are.
it's
That's
accurate,
like,
but-
yeah. Come on, bro. Okay, here.
Because you're saying that now we are somehow producing way more than we were under
I
President
never
Trump.
said way more. I
but
said
yeah,
we're producing more.
Okay, so more. Okay, however you want to frame it.
Right here, I'll show you the number.
Sorry, I can't get.
308,000 barrels per day, and then under Trump's
The U.S. production, yes.
Yeah, Trump administration, it was 795.
Okay, so and what were we? Just real quick, I want to make sure that I qualify this. Were we lower than Trump during Biden ever? So we could play games with statistics, right? But if I'm at 30, 40, 50,000 barrels a day, and then I ramp it up to 300, my numbers could still be lower than if we were consistently at 200 for 4 years, right?
You mean
would
if we
agree that
can?
if I had negative, if we're going to talk about statistics, if I had
could have
negative,
been a little bit higher. Sure, like the oil production could have been
I'm
a little bit
saying that
higher.
as a-
I'm not going
as
to
a
dispute
whole,
that, right? But does that
like, let's say this.
Yo, Ashley, thank you so much for the interstellar. Holy shit. W Ashley in the chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Let's get a W Ashley. W Ashley. She comes up here and gives us all that knowledge. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was unnecessary. Thank you so much, though. Go ahead, Jake. I apologize.
What I'm saying is, like, if you look at that chart, right, there was a giant down curve, right? So let's just say for that time we were negative, I don't know, from, you said we were at 187, right? I think is what you said under Trump a
We
day.
dropped actually during Trump's administration. So
What were we-
Biden
okay,
take off
because I
until
couldn't see the dates on it. It's small.
No, actually,
That's
it's
what I'm
fine.
asking.
So January 2021 is when Biden took office. It had already dropped at that point. right? January 2021, it was at 11,000 barrels per day, and it dropped to a low of 10,456 thousand barrels per day in October 2020. That's during Trump's administration. So the main drop that you actually referenced there was under Trump. And then we talk about the rebound. The rebound was happening under Biden.
So under Trump's 4 years, what was the average for those 4 years per day? Does it show you
I
that?
appreciate the marvelous confetti. Thank you so much. Well, it was going up over time, right? So it
That's what I'm
originally,
saying. Like if
originally in
over 4
2017,
years,
it was at about what is this? When he first went into office, that was. I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull it up in 2017. Around 9,000 barrels per day. Right, by the end of the administration, it's around 10,000 or 11,000.
okay. And then what's the average for Biden's right now?
And when to compare, right, we had the same production of oil similarly in like the 90s, from the 70s to the 90s. 9,000.
Okay. And what's Biden's per day average as of current? I guess?
Wouldn't be an average again. He went from
Okay.
around like 11,000 to about 13,000 barrels per day.
The reason I say that is,
13,000 barrels per day, to clarify.
that giant like negative bell curve that occurs, right? That's what I'm asking is I'm
No,
trying
the
to
drop,
figure out 'cause
the original
my,
drop in that particular bell that you're referencing right there, because I know exactly what the one you're talking about. That happened under Trump's administration.
at the end of his administration, right?
Yeah. You see this?
Okay, so let's just
You see this drop right here? That drop
so let's-
happened under Trump, and then the growth has happened under
see,
Biden.
I think that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm wondering if like your screen's reversed when you show. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because on
No.
mine, it looks like from left to right, it's stable, and then there's a giant drop.
No,
and
do you
it goes
see?
up.
See, it's not reversed because I do
sorry.
the thing that Harry doesn't.
Okay. I don't know who Harry is, but
Oh, I thought you were referencing Harry probably because he has it inverted. But
so 2020 it was pretty high, and then you said at the end of his administration.
no, at the
is
end
when
in 2020 it dropped, or 2020 it was high, right, and then it dropped right before Biden's administration occurred, right. It dropped a huge amount under Trump. 12,000 to like 10,000.
Okay, I mean, but sorry, it's hard to see that chart, but it looks very much so like if we were to break it down by month, it looks like it dropped when Biden took office, like January. Like it looks like it took
it didn't.
a
I
pretty
literally just
sharp drop, but I can't see.
no
that well.
because in March 20 or literally like it was it. I'm clicking on the specific day. This is October 2020. October 2020 at 10,456,000 barrels per day. Okay, so can you
10,000,
tell me
okay.
if Trump or Biden was in office at that point?
That's Trump.
That's Trump. So it already dropped from its highs at 12,000 under it before. So the drop was not under Biden; it was under Trump.
Okay, so it dropped about 2,000 barrels per day from October to when?
That's more or less
January?
related to COVID, right? And then since
Well, that's
COVID,
what
we've
I'm
had a
asking.
rebound.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Is that drop? Is that correlated? If we went across 4 years of Trump and 4 years of Biden, are you saying that in Biden's soon-to-be 4 years, he produced more oil than Trump's entire administration? Is that what you're saying?
Now we're at a point where every single day we produce more oil in the United States than at any point under Trump's administration.
Yes, and now we are. But I'm saying during his entire administration, if I took 4 years of data for Trump and 4 years of data for Biden, are you saying that Biden over 4 years produced more than Trump over 4 years? I don't think that's true. I think that the statistics you're trying to statistically say right now we're higher,
Appreciate
and
the invite. Thank you so
I'm
much.
not disagreeing. I'm saying that if I took Biden's month by month and laid it out over 4 years, and I took Trump's month by month and laid it out over 4 years, under Trump, the oil production was much higher than it is month to month than it is Biden across Biden's presidency.
That's true because of COVID. Okay, so under Biden it's more because under COVID Trump lost a lot of his gains. So at the very end, he probably gained like 2,000 over his whole administration. Okay.
Okay, and
so there
but
was
that's
more
not
gained
in his
under
control,
Biden's
right?
administration. But now you're pivoting. Okay. The same
No,
standard you
I'm
just
just
used.
using the data
Hold
you
up,
gave
listen.
me. So
No, the same standard that you just responsible in terms of Biden is the same one that it would then be responsible for Trump here. And that's why you don't use the correlation causation fallacy, right? You just said because two things would be
But
associated
Biden
means
made
one caused the other.
Biden made active decisions to reduce oil production in the beginning of his administration. That's
Oh,
not.
I'm not disputing that, but again, based
Yeah.
upon your
So
standard, it still is the case that he gained more positive under his administration.
my standard is that Trump didn't forcefully make the decision to produce less. Biden did make the decision to
He brought it
produce
back
less.
though, right? The federal drilling on
Well, he brought
limbs,
it back
the new leases for
after he had a
federal
lot
lands.
of political pressure. Yes, but
So
had he not initially made the decision to drop it, if he would have kept it at the exact same levels, just kept it steady,
there would have been a
Betty, right?
marginal decrease, a marginal difference. Okay, you saying that it's going to be some massive difference that means that gas prices are going to be exorbitantly low, way lower than they are now, is ridiculous.
I don't think so. I mean, you said it yourself. He tried to release from the strategic reserves so that he could regulate the price a little
Lower the
bit.
price,
And
yeah.
exactly. So
The
if I had
strategic
more oil to
reserves, by the way,
release,
that Trump bought.
if I had more oil to release, right? Let's say I continued to produce at that high level. I never made the decision to reduce the leases and stop drilling and all that good stuff. Let's say I actively made the choice to just keep going. You're telling me that having, I don't know, let's say, I don't know, I'll even be fair, 100,000 more barrels extra to release. You're saying that is just so modest that it wouldn't touch the economy, that it wouldn't help
It
at
wouldn't
all?
impact it in this major way that you're trying to reference. No, it would not affect it majorly.
Okay.
If you're talking about
I think
the
it would.
pipeline,
I'm not sure where you're getting
there's
the
an
number
AP
from
News
that you
article.
wouldn't, but
There's an AP News article on this, right? That fact checks this. If you'd like to reference that, right?
yeah, can you message it to me?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, message it. Anyways, that's one of my arguments. I think that oil production was high under Trump. I know you disagree. I think that the decisions that Biden made and when he made those decisions directly and negatively affected us as a whole. I really feel that. I mean,
Can you give me a
maybe
specific?
why the reduction in oil and the production is
No, that's the
why I feel that
reduction.
way.
No, it's not a reduction in the production. That was just saying that like they're not giving out increased new leases on federal lands, and it was just federal land specifically. So there was still production going on,
Well, that's
and
all he
increased
can do.
production, might I add. So this idea here that like that was specifically what led to this huge massive increase in prices, it's unlikely to be the case.
Okay. So you don't think that adding oil production or increasing oil production would have made any change?
No, you're not understanding. I said it would not have made the particular level of increase that you're referencing would have made a very minor change.
Okay, but do you think any addition of production, like let's say, because we know that Trump was pretty gung-ho for oil production, right? He was totally, hey, let's put our foot on the gas on it. I'm saying if Trump were in office versus Biden were in office, do you think that Trump's push for oil production and an increase in oil production would have helped or hurt us in this situation?
As it relates to this, there would have been more production of oil, but not like enough for there to be like this massive difference in prices.
So you don't think that policy of increasing oil production would have helped us at all during inflation?
When you say at all, again, I've told you like 4 times, Jake. I don't know what's confusing about me saying this to you, right? It is the case that there would be a marginal difference, okay? That does not mean that it's going to be a massive one, right?
Okay, hey, I'm sorry. You say marginal, but like you're saying marginal as in like, hey, oh, if we just kept doing the same. I'm saying if we increased it a lot, because that's what he wanted to do, a lot. If we were producing
What do you
20
mean
or
a lot?
30,000 barrels a
The only-
day, if we were
Okay, that's
producing 20
bullshit.
or 30,000 barrels, why is
No,
that bullshit?
no. Because at no point was he even close to reaching 20,000 barrels per day. That's disingenuous for you to say that would have happened.
Why is that disingenuous? I'm saying if he
Because
chose
that's
to-
almost dude. That's like almost double. Do you even understand?
Are you
what you're
saying that
talking
that's
about?
not possible?
No, not that quickly. No.
You really don't think it's possible to double our oil production?
No, not
I'm being honest.
technically.
You really
No,
don't believe that?
no, not without expending extreme amounts, and that being more of a cost to us.
Okay, so it can happen if we spent a lot of money.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be economically efficient. You can do that with anything. You could just
We do
divert
a
all
lot
your
of things.
resources of our economy to one particular function, and you could do that, but that wouldn't be economically efficient at all. You'd lose so much. Like if we diverted our entire economy to producing oil, yeah, we could do it. Is that ever going to happen? No.
That's not true. You wouldn't have to divert the entire economy to double the production
I didn't
of
say
oil.
you had to. I'm just giving an example. Okay.
Listen, you don't have to get upset with me. I'm just saying
No,
you could double
you're
the
being
production of
pedantic.
oil.
You're being
I'm not
pedantic.
being pedantic, and I don't care how many $5 words you want to use. It's the point that you could double the oil production without having to divert the economy, without having to do anything crazy. We could allow more oil production on federal lands. We could allow more oil production off the coast. We could allow more oil production internally inside of the United States. We could have allowed more oil production from Canada. We could have allowed more imports from Canada. We could have done a lot of things to bring a lot more oil in domestically, and doubling it is not that far of a stretch. I mean, under
Yeah, it
Trump,
is, Jake.
are you saying we
Jake, no,
didn't increase under Trump? We
Jake,
didn't
that is a
increase our oil production?
wildly absurd thing to say. Okay,
It's not
no,
absurd.
no, that is absolutely for you to say that we would be able to, right, economically efficiently double our production of oil in the United States is absolutely absurd when we're literally the leading producers of oil.
I don't think it's absurd.
Jamie, thank you for the
I don't.
$5. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I don't believe it's absurd to say that we could double our oil production in the United States. I don't think that's absurd. We have the resources.
Name one in history where we were able to do that.
Double our production of oil.
Yeah, in modern history.
I don't think we've ever had a time where we needed it. We've never been in a situation like this. This is everything is
Please
brand new right now.
tell me how we could do that. Tell me how we could do that quickly. You know how long it would take to produce more? Like you understand it takes time.
I just
for
told
the
you
market to
we
produce
could
more.
absolutely increase offshore drilling. That doesn't take a lot of time. We could increase offshore drilling. We could increase fracking. We could increase the distribution from Canada
Yeah,
to the
and that's
United
not going to do
States.
it in 4 years, bro. What are you talking about?
Do you know what the average time to set up an oil rig off the coast is?
What is it?
Not 4 years, and
What is
certainly
it?
not to get it producing. It takes
What
about
is
a
it?
year to get an offshore rig set up. So, if in 1 year you
Would I
put
produce enough of
3,
them?
4, 5 oil rigs offshore, you're telling me that the output from 3 or 4 extra oil rigs wouldn't somehow double our economic production of oil? I hate to tell you,
No,
but
3 or 4 would
I
not.
don't think you've even looked into this. I don't even think this was on your radar.
Yes, I have,
said,
right?
hey, if I said, hey,
Right.
if I said,
Do you
hey,
want me
we
to
can
show
increase the
the
production.
production of oil? You're just bullshitting. You're just bullshitting, okay?
I'm not
Dude,
bullshitting.
you are, bro. You're absolutely
I'm not.
bullshitting. This is our production of
It's not
oil since the
bullshitting.
This is our production of oil since the 40s, okay? The highest point on this graph
can't see it.
was achieved recently, okay? And what that is right now, and that's at 13,000 barrels per day. So you're saying we take it from 13,000 barrels per day to 20,000 in 4 years.
Yes.
20,000, 1,000.
Yes. Didn't you just say we're at 13,000?
And again, that's the highest point in United States history. It's not even close. Okay.
You just
If
said
wanna
we're
look
at 13,000,
during
right?
during World War II. During World War II, we were producing. Let me check. Around 6,000 barrels per day. Okay.
Yes. The technology was very different in World War
5,500.
II than it is today. Is it not?
I'm giving comparison.
It's not. It's like saying that the NBA when it started is just the same as the NBA today. It's not. It's a completely different game. We have completely different technology today than we did at World War II. You're trying to say that the technology we currently possess for oil production, that we as a nation could not double our domestic production in a very short amount of time.
Can you read this for me, please?
Yeah, I see what you're. I don't even know what that's citing
Oil rigs
from, like
are
check.com or something. What I can't even see what that is.
it's
I
just
can
oil and
Google
gas
anything. I mean,
research.
if I had access to Google, I could Google and find answers to anything I want to put on there. I could say, hey, can we produce it, in 1 year? Answer, yes, we've done it. Chevron has done it, so we know
No,
we can
it's not
do
what
it.
I looked up. It's
And
not.
yours
I
says
literally looked up. I
around,
looked
so it's
up
like
how long does it
could be a
take.
year, could be a year and a half, could be 2 years,
No, it
3
says
years.
around 2 to 3 years. That's
And what site is that? Howto.com?
no. It's literally a blog from oilgasresearch.com. There's also one from
Oh, okay. That's good.
furnitumaker.com. There's also another from there's Investopedia. Okay.
They sound super
Health.
super good.
There's interesting engineering, right? There's literally
Exxon
multiple.
CEO says technology
And
advances
then it also
help us double our shale output. So Exxon says they can double just the shale output
that's for their company.
just from new advances. Exactly.
And
And
that's
how
from
many companies
advances
do
in
we have?
technology. And that's from advances in technology, not from right now. Okay.
CNN, more oil supply could stop massive price spikes, but U.S. producers won't fill the gap.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that
Okay.
we can't, your argument was that we could not increase oil production. Your point was it would
I said
marginally
no,
help.
that's
I
not my
don't think
point.
CNN agrees with you.
My point, no, okay, I don't read CNN, and also I'd like to see what that is referencing. CNN
I'm
is
just
not
doing what
saying
you're
that we
doing.
could go to.
I pulled
Hey, Jake,
this up
Jake,
for you.
CNN is not saying that we can go from 13,000 barrels per day of oil production to 20,000. Appreciate the gem gun. Thank you so much
And
for
I'm saying it's
26,000.
possible. I'm saying with
Okay,
modern
that's bullshit.
technology, we can. Here's another one. New fracking technology
No,
can double
that would
our
not be.
national oil
Again, my
output.
point, Jake. Again, my point, Jake, is not that we can't do it, given diverting all of our economic resources or whatever the hell you'd like to do. What I said is in an economically
Here's
efficient
from
way,
UNEP.
right? We cannot do
Governments
that.
are planning to produce double the fossil fuels by 2030. So obviously, people are planning on doing these things in a short amount of time. 2030 is 6 years down the road.
Wait, produce double? No, they would produce half as much.
This is from UNEP.
Wait, no,
Governments plan to
wait.
produce.
Hold up. Tell me the title of that, because I guarantee they're referencing the other way around.
I'm telling you, governments plan to produce double the fossil fuels in 2030.
Wait, please show me. Please show me. Wait, please show me. Please show me. That's
Just Google
renewables.
that.
The complete opposite.
I don't
No.
know how to.
Wait, what is the
show you.
title? Tell me the title right now.
I just did. It's from UNEP.
Because the 2035 is their.
It's dated 8 November of 23. Title: Government's plan to produce double the fossil fuels in 2030.
To produce double
Stockholm.
fossil fuels.
A major new report published today finds that governments plan to produce around 110% more fossil fuels in 2030 than would be consistent with limiting
No, it
warming
says
to
it says
1.5
100.
Celsius
No,
and 69% more than would be consistent.
dude.
This comes
No, you didn't
despite
read it correctly.
151
You didn't read it correctly.
national governments.
Jake, you're just lying now. You're literally just lying. I'm muting you because you're lying. Okay. The one that I'm reading right now is a major new report published today finds that governments plan to produce 110% more fossil fuels than in 2030. Or in 2030. Okay, that would be consistent with limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius and 69% more than would be consistent with 2 degrees Celsius. Okay, so you misread it completely, dude. Jake, you can unmute. Literally said double, bro. That's so
I hope
crazy.
everybody could have read that. It says
Yeah,
double.
you said double. No,
I
it
showed
doesn't. It
everybody
says
on screen
110%.
exactly what it says. Governments plan to produce double the fossil fuels. That's what it says.
Lies. Read it. Read it.
Dude,
Read it.
you read it. It says 110% more than they are now. That is double. Do you not understand how percentages work? 110% more than I'm making today is double my money.
Dude,
If I'm making
Kate, I appreciate the
$110 more
$7
dollars
and
today,
77 cents. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Kate. I appreciate it.
dude,
Again,
listen,
what they're saying
that's
is
exactly what it's. I mean, it reads exactly
no,
what you
dude.
just said. It
No,
wasn't.
dude. No, man.
Yes, dude, you're an
No, man.
economics major. Are you telling me
Yes.
you don't understand that 110% more of something is double? Do you understand that number?
No, it's not.
Yes or no? What year in economics are you? What
I'm a
classes are you
senior.
currently taking
I'm
in
a
your
senior.
semester?
I don't need to
Okay,
tell
you're a
you,
senior.
right? You're just bullshitting, dude.
I
What are you
think you should
talking
have to
about?
qualify what you're saying.
It literally
You
says
should be able to if you
110%.
say you're an economics major, but you don't understand that a 110% means double. I'm sorry, but if that's what you're saying, you don't understand that number, that 110% is double of something. I don't know what to tell you. The economics college you're at has failed you, whether it's Republican or Democrat.
Yeah,
I had
so
to take
let's.
economics for my master's degree. I'm telling you, 110%
You
is
did, yeah,
double.
yeah, sure, great.
I have a master's, yes. My undergraduate is healthcare management. My major is physician assistant studies.
No, what's your master's
So yes,
for major?
physician assistant
That's
studies,
not
medicine,
economics.
physician assistant studies. I
That's
had
not
to take
economics.
economics for my undergraduate. My undergraduate
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
business
cool. You took an
degree.
economics class. Cool. I'm majoring in it, dude. Right?
I took a lot of economics, micro, macro, you name it. I was required for a business degree. I could go get an MBA right now. I have a business degree. My master's is in medicine, physician assistant studies. I'm not
Yeah,
stupid.
that's not wrong.
110% is double. Double. If I had something today
No.
and I made 110% more of it,
No.
I would have double what I have now.
No, okay.
I know
So,
you don't
dude,
like the fact that you got beat on that, but that's what that article
no,
says
that's
from
not
UNEP.
me getting beat. Because if we were doing double of our oil production, right, that would not be able to be able to reach 1.5 degrees Celsius. We
No,
wouldn't be
that's
able to
not what they're
reach
saying. They're
1.5
saying
degrees
that
Celsius. They're saying, listen. They're
no,
saying,
that's not what the
they're saying,
article says.
listen,
The
no,
article says that despite their
listen,
calls,
listen.
despite
A
calls
major
for
new
the
report, listen.
reduction in fuel production.
Hey, I just want you to listen. A major new report says, published today, finds that governments plan to produce 110% more fossil fuels in 2030 than, wait, just,
No, yeah, then what? No, continue. Then,
no, I got a
yeah,
violation
exactly,
warning.
because you didn't
I'm
read it.
Hey, listen, can I finish?
It's not
Can you
me.
shut the, can you please be quiet so I can
Yeah,
finish?
good.
I just got a violation warning, so I was
Wow.
looking at that. Okay? Around 110% more fossil fuels in 2030 than would be consistent with limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And
Yes,
69%
the article
more.
is saying,
Listen, and 69% more then would be consistent with degrees Celsius. So you see how it's referencing around 10%? Because it literally right
the
after,
article
it
is
says,
saying,
listen,
the article,
can you just be quiet for a second? Please,
Parker,
stop
you
talking.
don't like the fact that
Stop
you just
talking.
got beat on this.
You didn't beat me on anything. Let me finish the point.
I know it's late.
Okay?
I get that you're frustrated. I
I'm not
understand it.
frustrated at all.
trying.
I just need you to be. Can you just be quiet, please? I'm gonna mute you because you're being ridiculous at this point. Okay? Literally, look. If you read it, 69% more than would be consistent with 2 degrees Celsius. Okay? So, do you understand what it's relating to there?
You are not saying it correctly and you are being disingenuous. That article literally says that despite government saying they won't produce that much, they are now on track to produce 110%. They are on track in the next 6 years. So 4 of those years could be for another president of ours, correct? So if you add 2 extra years, they're saying that in 6 years, that 151 governments can all double their supply of oil, even though they've said they would not. That is what the article is saying. What I am referencing is you're saying that it's so impossible. It would just take so much of our national resources to double our personal oil production in 4 years. But that article from UNEP is saying that the 151 other countries are going to be doubled in 6 years. What that tells me is that technology has come so far and so advanced in oil production that we as a nation could absolutely double our oil production in 2 years. that are in 4 years. That's not unheard of. That is not ungodly. That would not take up all of our resources. It would not require much because of the way technology is with fracking and other things. We could absolutely increase our oil production. Further, CNN and other news articles who all cite different experts. So you could use Fox, CNN, I don't care who you use. There are multiple articles that say these experts believe that our lack of extra oil production has harmed us inflation wise, and that we should have been producing more oil and it would have drastically helped us. I know you say it's marginal, and you said some AP article says it would be marginal, but other news sources with
Which
experts
one?
attached say they do not believe that.
Which
I
one?
just said CNN had one. There's
No,
an
no, no,
article on
no, no,
CNN.
no, no.
Do you want me
Which
to
one?
read you the
No, which one?
which one? What?
Yeah, which one?
Which you're just saying?
Andre, I
Which one? What
I
are you
appreciate
asking me?
$2. Thank you so much.
Here, CNN, March 2, 2022. More oil supply could stop massive price spikes, but U.S.
Yeah,
producers
so
won't fill the gap.
Jake, I'm not disputing that given more supply that can limit prices. That's not what I'm disputing. What I'm saying is given a Trump administration versus a Biden administration, we're going to see a marginal difference in the amount of oil production that there was. Insofar
I
is that we're
understand
not
that. I understand.
we're not going to see
I understand.
a different price in oil. So for you to say that this is caused by Biden or that this is like an issue specifically related to Biden isn't something I think is very likely to be true. Douglas, I appreciate the $10 on Cash App. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Again, the point
I
I'm
understand that
referencing here as
you
it relates
believe
to
it's
this,
marginal.
yeah, dude,
I
again,
understand
I
that you
want to,
believe it's marginal. What I'm saying
okay.
is there are other people who have made these articles and have cited actual experts, not some AP article. We're talking about people who are citing actual experts who say that it could stop the massive spikes in pricing, not marginal spikes in pricing, massive spikes in pricing.
Yeah, and
Would you
again,
agree that massive and marginal are two different things?
yes, absolutely. As it relates to this
Okay.
though, right, I
So
clearly
if
want to be able to address this, right? Please tell me where in the article it mentions anything specifically that would allow us to be able to do that. Can I hear?
it literally says U.S. oil producers could ramp up production, which would stop massive spikes in
Yeah,
pricing.
I
That's
know.
what the
No,
entire
can
article
you,
talks about.
that's not answering my question, Jake. Would you like to tell me what specifically indicates that we'd have the capacity to do that? Tell me, please.
Yes, I just did. I just pointed that UNEP says that we could increase
No, I
double our
asked in that
production in
article,
6 years.
Jake, I asked you in that article. And as it relates to the production of oil that you're referencing, that's 110%. That's rating 10% more, okay? It's relating to the 100% of what it was prior plus the 10% of what it's right. Because if it was literally 200, right, you're based on your standard 20%, 220% more as it relates to this, well, then it would be the case that clearly we wouldn't be able to reach the 1.5 degrees Celsius, okay? If it was 220%, it would be well more than that, okay?
Okay, like I said, I think you're being disingenuous here. I pointed to the articles. I showed you what the article says. I gave you the information and the
What I asked you
titles.
what in the article, and you
You
never
can go.
answered that question, Jake. Answer the damn question, right? What in the article tells us that we will be
As
able
a
to achieve
result,
that?
U.S. oil production is just under 12 million barrels a day, 8% lower than it was in 2019. There you go. There's 8%, 8% a day lower. If you were losing 8% a day,
Yeah. Oh, not
let's say you
over.
owned a business, and 8% of your
A
bottom
day. You're
line
not
you're
listening.
losing
You're
a
not
day. I
listening.
mean,
You're not listening. That means the over amount of production in a day has gone down 8% over a multiple month period of time. Okay, gone down 8%. Okay, so you saying that we can jump up to literally like 200% our current oil production per day in America not only has never been done in American history, right, but clearly would not be economic.
okay, again, you are 8% below what was the current in 2019. You're 8% below, right? So you're 8% below where you were just steady Betty, okay? You weren't ramping up. You weren't doing anything except the basics, right? You're hitting 8% below the basics. If I came in and said, not only are we going to increase it 8% back to where it was, but in the next 4 years, we're going to use the technology that we have in the oil industry to ramp up production 8% back to normal, and then above that, even if I went up, I don't know, 20, 30, 40%, which is doable. Apparently, according to this article, they think you could do that instantaneously, but oil producers are not doing it. And why are they not doing it? If I were to come out and say, hey, this is a national emergency, if I'm the president, it's a national emergency, our oil production is way lower than it's been in a long time. We are seeing massive spikes. This is causing destabilization. It's a national security issue. I'm going to direct these oil companies, just like he's done with pharmaceutical companies and everything else, to start producing more. Or maybe I just befriend these oil executives and say, hey, can you guys help me out here and increase this? I'll give you the leases.
Yo, Adora, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Adora. Can we get a W Adora in the comment section right now? Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Adora.
If I give you the leases and I give you the ability to go ramp up production, and you say you have the technology at least in the next 6 years to double it, I'm giving you 4 years because that's what I've got. You don't believe that we could really ramp it up to the point where it really helps us with gasoline prices, diesel prices, oil prices across the board? You're saying
That's
you
currently
think
what they're
that
doing right now, Jake. They're currently doing it right now to be able to ramp it up, to be able to lower it. That's why prices
Okay.
have continually gone down. Okay.
You're saying it's marginal. That's what I don't get. It's like you just agreed
Yeah.
with
The
me,
the
and now you're
difference
saying
between
that
Trump
doing
and
that is
listen,
marginal.
Jake. The difference between Trump and Biden is marginal. Does that make sense?
I just said if Biden or if Trump were in office, if Trump wins and increases oil production, he would smoke Biden's oil production right now. Period.
And can I
If
ask you
he
a
were in
question?
office currently,
Can you tell me what 110% more than 10 is? What was 110% more than 10?
Are we good? Sorry.
Question. What is 110% more than 10?
You really want to go there?
Yeah.
What do you think it is? Without using
11.
your calculator, what is it?
It's 11.
Okay. So, what do you get at?
It's 11. 110% more than 10 is 11.
Okay.
Okay. Is 10% of 10 is what?
Okay. 10% of 10 is 1. So, 110% of 10 is 21.
No, it's not.
Yes.
110%.
If
Oh
I
my
have
gosh.
10, if I have 10 and I make
gosh.
110% more,
Oh
that's
my God,
21.
please. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Dude.
110% of, right,
110%
is 11.
more. No. You're trying to see, this is why I don't think you're an economics major. You're saying
I am.
if I produced 110% more than I currently produce, I have 10.
That to me,
I produce 11 more.
Dude,
That
I
is
understand. I understand what you're
21.
trying to say. I understand what you're trying to say, right? But in this scenario, right, if they double, we would not be able to achieve 1.5% or 1.5
That is
degrees
exactly
Celsius.
what they meant.
No, it is not. No, it is not. We would not be able to achieve that. Okay,
Hey,
and that's why
okay,
right
we're gonna
after
we're
it
gonna
literally
go back
says.
to grade school
No,
real
no, no.
quick. If
Listen,
I
you're not
told
understanding.
you
Let me finish.
10,
Let me finish.
if I told you
not,
you
let
had
me
a
finish,
number
please?
10,
Can you let me finish, Jake? Jake, let me
Parker,
finish, please.
you were wrong on this, and you just
Jake, let
want
me
to talk
finish.
about it.
Can I
Go ahead,
finish,
go
please?
ahead. Go ahead, Parker.
Okay, that's why in the article it literally references 69% more, right? I forget how much would be 2 degrees Celsius. Okay.
Thank you, chat, for everybody who's typing 21. Parker has an economics or soon to be economics degree and doesn't understand that in production, if I produce a product, right, that's my 100%. If I produce 100% and then I take 110% more than I produce today, I now have double the production. That is 101 economics. If I have one product and I produce 110% more of it, I now have double the product. I have multiplied my product by 2. I have now gone from 1 to 2. If you were in grade school and somebody said 1 more than 10, you would have 11. Why? Because you added more.
Shannon, I appreciate that. I appreciate that $1. Thank you so much.
110% of 10 is 11. And if I'm producing 11 more than the 10 I already have, I'm producing 21.
If you would compare it to a ratio, I appreciate the hand art. Thank you so much. What is 110% as a ratio? Can you please tell me?
I don't need to get into a ratio. Do you know why?
It's going to be
Because I've already
1.1,
proven
right?
my point. Yes,
Jake,
1.1 times. Thank you.
1.1.
So
okay, so now can you do 10? Can you do 10 times 1.1, please?
listen, you are
I want
reverse
you, no,
engineering
please,
the
please,
math
Jake.
inappropriately.
Jake, I'm not.
Your
Can you just answer the
economics
question?
professors should really watch your live.
Stop gaslighting
I really
me.
believe
Stop
they should watch
gaslighting
your
me.
live.
Stop gaslighting
I'm
me.
not gaslighting you. I'm
Stop
telling
gaslighting
you,
me.
if I have
Engage
10,000
with my
barrels,
question. Can you
if
please
I have
engage with my
10,000
question?
barrels and I make 110% more tomorrow than I do today, how many barrels do I have? If I
Again,
make
if you're
10,000
talking
barrels
listen,
today,
Jake,
Parker, answer my question because
I will answer all your questions, and I have answered all your questions. You're just being disingenuous right now because you're not
I'm not
answering
being
my questions.
disingenuous.
Right?
You
I
are an
asked you a
economics
question.
major.
Jake,
if I have
I asked you a question.
100,000
Dude,
barrels
come on.
to
You're being disingenuous. You're being extremely disingenuous. I asked you a question, and you're not answering the question. As a ratio, what is 110%?
it doesn't matter what the ratio is.
Can you please just tell me? Can you please just tell me?
It doesn't matter what the
Appreciate the
ratio
rest. Thank you
is.
so much.
I don't need to do the ratio.
You're being insufferable. Okay.
It's not insufferable.
Please. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Can you
Parker.
please tell me what the ratio is for
No,
110%?
I want you to answer, Parker. If I have 1,000
Can you tell me what the
barrels
ratio
today,
is for 110%?
okay,
No, I want you to tell me.
I'll do an easier number
Lori, I
for you.
appreciate
If
that. I
have
appreciate the
100
$10
barrels
on
today-
Venmo. And Nicholas, thank you for the $11 on Venmo. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Jake, can you please answer my question?
No, I don't need to because we're not talking about a ratio
First
here.
Amendment. I appreciate the galaxy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
This is not a ratio. This is not a ratios issue.
This would be comparative to an. Yes, it would. It would be
No,
comparative to
listen.
a ratio. Yes.
I really hope you. I'm serious. I really hope you're joking right now.
I'm not
by
joking.
You're trying to make this problem a ratios problem, which is
It is a ratio.
not
It's
applicable.
so that you
It
can
is
do the
not
math.
applicable.
Jake, it's so that you can do the math. It's so that you
No,
can do the
it's
math.
not applicable.
Because
The
it's
math
easier
is
for you to
very
understand
simple.
that.
My 14-year-old son could do the math. I'm telling you, it's not applicable. This is not a ratio. If I have a product, if I make 1,000 of something, and tomorrow I make 110% more than I did today, Parker, how much more did I make the next day, and what total amount did I make the next day? Answer the question.
I didn't listen to
have
the number. Right?
1,000.
It's 1.1x. 1.1x.
I have 1,000 today. Tomorrow
It's
I'm
1,100.
making 110% more than I did today.
11.
What does that equal?
11.
It does not equal 11. If
we're talking in
1,000
terms
today,
of a 1.1 ratio, okay?
No. Okay, I'm sorry.
Because you're
Chat,
changing
if
the
you guys-
wording.
I'm
You're
sorry.
changing the wording.
I'm not.
'Cause,
I'm
Jake,
not
you're
changing the
wording.
wording.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I am increasing my production by 110%. That means I will still have the original
different.
1,000 that I make.
Increasing your
And I
production
am
this much?
going to increase
You're
that
not listening.
production tomorrow. My workers will make the
Dude,
same
increasing
amount they
production
make today.
and this much more is two different things. It's two. You have two separate questions.
Chat,
Listen, I want you to listen for a
chat,
second.
I'm really
okay?
sorry. You should look at your own
Leslie, I
chat.
appreciate the $5 on Venmo. Thank you so much. I'm not wrong.
If I have, I'll make it simple.
Can I please?
10.
Can I? You're literally
If
not
I have
engaging.
10 apples today, if my tree made 10 apples today, and tomorrow it makes 100% more than it did today, on top of what it's already producing, if it made 110% more, I would go from 10 to how many tomorrow? How many apples would I have tomorrow?
I'm not answering your question anymore, Jake, because you're not answering any of mine. Okay? And I appreciate the handout. Thank you so much, Poopet. I'm sick of you trying to divert and pivot away from answering any of
that's
my
not what I'm
questions,
doing.
Jake. And if you
It's
don't
very
answer my
fair.
question in this scenario, I'm going to go on to the next person. I have no issue
You
with
will go to
admitting
the
I'm
next
wrong in a
person
scenario
because
in
the
which
answer is
I have no issue. I have no issue with admitting I'm wrong in a situation which I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong in this scenario, and you're not even engaging with this particular scenario insofar as that I can do that.
I am.
Okay?
Even
Can you
the
tell me,
chat,
Jake?
there are
Jake,
so many
please
people in the
stop.
chat
Please
saying
stop.
the same thing.
I don't care if the chat is saying
Gonna
whatever.
drop me because you're upset.
I don't care.
And
Jake,
that's
no,
fine.
it's because you're not
That's
able to
totally fine.
engage with what I'm
I paid
saying.
you your money. I paid you
You're
your
not-
money. You've got your Cash App. It's all good. Whatever. What I'm telling you is
quite literally are not letting me engage with this. Okay, I
Because you're
understand that you
trying-
disagree
you're
with me.
trying to say
I
that it's a
understand that you disagree with me, and if you disagree with me, let's go through it. And if I'm wrong,
It's not that
I'm
I
wrong.
disagree with you. It's that
Please
math
stop talking.
disagrees with you.
Please stop, Jake. I'm gonna mute you if you don't stop talking. Can you please stop? Okay. If I'm wrong,
me if
well
you
then,
wish.
if I'm wrong, well then you'll easily be able to prove that I'm wrong, and we'll go through this. If I'm wrong, I'm
just
fine
did.
with admitting that I'm wrong, and that's completely okay. Okay. Now, in this particular scenario, clearly of this scenario, if we are talking of it in terms of ratios so that you can understand as it relates to a multiplication problem, right? Again, right, 110% is what as a ratio?
1.1.
Now, can you do 10 times?
I told you
Let me
this
please
is not an
finish.
issue.
Can you do can you do 10 times 1.1?
Yes.
What is that?
I can do basic math, Parker. I graduated high school.
Jake,
For goodness
Jake,
sakes, I've
what is
graduated
that?
college. You haven't even graduated college yet. I know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, this is not a ratios issue. Ratios don't. Okay, let me just ask you this real quick. If you own a business, Parker, okay, and you produce a product, are you telling me when you go to sit down and look at your productions, are you going to say, hey guys, what's my ratio of production between today and yesterday? Is that what you're going to ask them? Did I make a good enough ratio of extra production today? Is that what you're going to ask?
Yeah, you might compare the ratios of production.
No,
like
you're
what they were
that
producing
shows
as a
lack
percentage of what you are now.
business experience.
Appreciate the roses. Thank you so much.
What
Wait,
the-
why?
what
How can
you
that
would
not be
do is you would
applicable?
say,
Obviously,
What is my percentage? What is my percentage?
obviously. Wait. You understand that? What are ratio? Can you tell me what a ratio is?
Yes, Parker, I can tell you what a ratio is, and you're trying to deflect from the
I'm
problem.
not
here.
deflecting.
You are deflecting. You're trying to go to the one piece of information that you have a good understanding of because you don't understand that you're wrong with the rest of this
A ratio
problem.
is just another form of
If I make
percentages.
if I make 1,000 today, Parker, and I do 110%
Jake,
more today,
Oh, my brain's gonna go crazy, dude. Right? Just
your
okay.
your brain's gonna go
Can you
crazy.
tell me?
but
Can you
this
can you
is-
please
this
answer
is
the
grade
question
school
of?
math.
Yeah, if it's such grade school math, then we wouldn't have this much of an issue right now.
It's
okay?
such grade school
As it
math
relates
that
to
your
this.
chat continues to put the answer in there. and
Jake,
you
I
won't
understand the
even
chat
look.
disagrees. I understand there are people in the chat that disagree with me, right? They might
Yes,
have the
I'm
same
sorry
understanding.
that there's people who don't understand basic math. But if I have
And
1,000,
I like how
and
it's
I make
ironic how in this
110% more the
particular
next day, I have 2,100. It's that simple. It's a very simple problem. And you want to make this about ratios. It's not.
It is about ratios.
It's not about ratios because
What is
at
a
the
ratio?
end of the day, I'm not
Jake,
going to
can you
sit
answer
down
the question,
and go, hey
Jake?
guys,
Answer the question.
1.1% better today.
Can you tell me what a ratio is?
Yes, I know what a ratio is, and I'm not going to stoop to that ridiculous level of giving you a definition on the quantities of this versus what my increase in quantities is of the next number. I understand what the ratio is. What I'm saying is you are misapplying using a ratio for this problem.
How?
It would be like saying a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and you're trying to say, yeah, but what was the ratio? That's what you're doing. You're trying to insert ratios when it doesn't apply to this problem. It's period. It doesn't. And I'm not being immature.
Ratio
I'm
relates to
trying tell
percentages.
you, as an economics major, I
Makes no sense.
assume.
And
I
now
assume
you're gonna
you're gonna
gaslight
go into
me, dude.
business. I assume you're
Oh
going to
my
go into
god.
business.
Oh my god, dude. Again, if you're talking about ratios, right, are describing what the percentage is in this particular scenario. If you have a particular percent, well, then you're also going to be able to derive a ratio. Okay. So again, right,
Yes,
as
but that ratio is not the number you want to look for because the ratio just tells you, hey, I made X amount more, right? I made a multiplicative of more than what I made before. But the actual product is the problem. You need to know how much more product you have. If I had 1,000 today and I made 110% more than what I did today, I would have double what I made
Mr.
yesterday.
the Cap, thank you so much. Okay.
I
So
would double my production from day over day. If I had 1,000 today and I still made that 1,000 tomorrow, right? I'm steady Betty. And then I said, okay, guys, we're going to make 110% more than we did today. I instantly would go up to double my production. whether that ratio is 1.1 or not. I still doubled my production.
Oh, and by the way, people are bringing to my determination because you're adding the word. So as it relates to this, I appreciate the handout. Thank you so much. They're saying than the standard that would allow for us to reach 1.5 degrees Celsius. So this isn't in terms of right what it was prior. This is in terms of right the comparing it to the standard of,
I'll let you go read the article.
hitting 1.5 degrees Celsius. Okay, that's.
I'll let you read the article later. The article is very clear that the 151 nations have an agreement that they would only make a certain amount.
Did you hear what I said though? Can you wait, Jake? If you can't tell me what I just said right now, I'm done with this. Okay? Can you tell me what I just said?
It's a 60,
What did I say?
You're saying that originally it was 60%. It's going up to 110%,
No.
and that differentiation is 1.5 degrees Celsius.
He didn't listen. He didn't listen again. Okay. So I said the
Just take me off stage.
110%.
I honestly, I'm
Listen,
being
Jake.
dead serious with you. I think you're smart, and I think that you're going to go far in life.
You didn't listen. You didn't listen to what I said,
really,
Jake.
And I really mean that. I think that at some point, you're going to have, and I had this problem when I was younger, and I can admit if I'm wrong or right? I've had to learn that the hard way. I'm telling you, if I have an increase of 110%, I'm
Psychic,
double.
I appreciate the galaxy. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We
Can you
know
listen to
that
what
you
Jake?
guys oil
Jake, stop
companies
talking
believe-
because you're not listening. You misunderstood what I was
I
saying.
know you got the power right now.
Jake, I'm not even muting you right now. I'm being so nice to you. Jake, just please listen to what I'm saying real quick, okay? I'm being way too patient with you. I'm not muting you. I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. And you're still not letting me engage, okay? You are being totally insufferable. Regardless of whether or not you're right or wrong in this area, please let me finish my statement. Please let me finish my statement, right? Regardless of whether or not I'm right or wrong in this area, you are being totally